Hey guys, and welcome, and yes, it is finally time again. Death Before Dishonour has indeed returned, and boy oh boy, do I have some treats in store for you guys. We're going to have one of the craziest semi-finals I think I've ever had on the channel, as we have two of my most favourite players in the community, the mighty Saphir, taking on Park Map in the first semi-final. We'll then be doing a second semi-final, which will be between Ice Power and either Suave or Lunacy. That last quarter-final is still going on. Both the semi-finals will be best of threes, and then we will have a big best of five final. Saphir has decided to counter-pick against the Beastmen with Lizardmen, which is an interesting choice. It's a matchup I feel is quite bad for the Lizardmen now, particularly on a map like Troll Country, but Saphir, I'm sure, will have a trick or two up his sleeve. I'm actually predicting a bit of a defensive box-style approach, but I'll have to wait and see how that fares. Yeah, it looks like Park Map started Beastmen, banned Vampire Counts, and the Wood Elves. But how are you guys today? Oh, I see something green. What's going on? What's going on, chat? Raptor, welcome to the Royal Duck Guard. Thank you so much, man, for the support. I will update you on Discord, update your role soon. You should now have access to a load of cool new emojis, which only the Royal Duck Guard do indeed get. So feel free to try them out. For those who don't know, Raptor, an absolute legend in the community, a player who does pick the finest maps in the game. We're going to have to do like a Raptor King of the Hill to celebrate soon, where he can pick the maps for us. Me a bot? No, definitely not. What's up, CJ, Rabane, Kadane, HGM, the Mihawk as well. Yo, all. What's up, man? How are you today? We've got Mark here as well. I believe Mark is the guy who sent me a new overlay we're going to be trying out for future tournaments, which looks very cool and I'm excited for. And we have the King of Ducks himself, Cap Morgan here. Hope you're all good to go today. Blood Brute, let's go. Glory for the Ducks. Well, start when ready, lads. This is going to be wild. So I wish I could have cast the other quarterfinal. Park Map had to go up against Leopard, who is one of the most interesting players in the entire game. He comes in with some really off-the-wall, not very meta builds, and is a beast with them. He can really cut down your opponents and your build if you're not too ready for it. But it looks like Park Map did manage to get through with a cheeky 2-0 victory. So Saphir versus Park Map. Let's get in here and hop straight into the carnage and violence. Panther says, let's go Saphir. We've got a few DBD guys as well, representing Park Map. Yeah, we are going to do DBD versus Sons of the Mountain at some point. I need to organise it with Grombrindle. His electricity is currently down, though, so we haven't been able to sort that out just yet. Rabane, don't tell him what happened. He's a prehistoric raptor. He just don't want to be duck. That's what raptors are. They evolve into ducks. If I don't see the Shredder, I'll be disappointed, says Larry the Mad. Let's go, Scaly Boys. Looks like people are rooting for Saphir with the dinos. Got a few representing as well for the Park Map himself. I have made him promise me that if he wins the event, he has to yell into a camera, "It's coming Rome, it's coming Rome," over and over again. Kind of Euros style. And, oh, this looks like some pretty interesting stuff. Not the build I was expecting, but a badass one nonetheless. So let's hop in straight away with my favourite dinos and one of my favourite players, the mighty Saphir. He's a really cool dude, boy. If you do meet him on ladder, be prepared. He has slaughtered many a foe, but he's always also down for a chat and is a super chill guy. So he's coming in with the Salam Mage Priest of Life. It looks like we have Earthblood, Regrowth, as well as... Is that just going to be the basic Awakening in the Woods? It is indeed. He also has his Banishments, Shield of the Old Ones, and Blood Statute of Spite. Looking to heal up large creatures, and boy oh boy does he have some of them. But before we get to them, let's look at the infantry. We have Saurus and Skinks dotted all the way along. So a load of Saurus with spears, in fact, help deal with some of the larger threats. And then a bucket ton of javelin-throwing skink maniacs just behind them to launch those javelins up and over into the squishy underbelly of those beastmen single entities. Because for the most part, Gorgons, Mammoths, yeah, they're very good, but they don't have much armor, so you can certainly pull them down. We do have two Stegodons, both of which are ancient ones. They have these little blue dart machine guns on the front. Also have relatively decent stats. And then a Solar Engine Bastiladon as well. Let's give him a little neck scratch just to let him know. Oh, look, he's loving it. He's loving it. Just to let him know that we do appreciate him here today. For the forces of the Beastmen and the might of Park Map, we have Ungor Spearherds dotted all across the front line here, looking as ferocious as always. And then a couple of Ungor Raiders in the back. Now, this is typically how you play Beastmen now. You basically just throw away your infantry. You're not too concerned about them. You just want them to be mass and kind of pin in the enemy troops. Then you bring a load of heavy-hitting single entities and chariots. We have Harpies in the sky, double Ferromanticore as well to aid and assist. British Shaman of Wild coming down with, it looks like just Traitor King. Is that all he has? Yeah, just coming in with Traitor King. Look how awesome he looks as well. He's a badass. I actually really like the animations and looks of the Tuskor chariots. We have 2 chariots here, the basic ones, and then we have Torx the Brass Bull leading the Blood Brute Behemoth into battle. It's going to be a fun one. I think I saw Jabberslife somewhere as well, but maybe I was mistaken. Is there no Jabberslife? No! My beautiful crate. I suppose he can't have it. He's already got the single entities as it is. But it should be an interesting fight. We are playing on Falcon's updated banner rules now. Going to be trying them out and seeing how they go in the tournaments. Yes, booyah! The perfect stream to listen to while I do my work stuff. Welcome, Benedict. Hopefully you are going to be having a fantastic time. While bathing spaghetti sauce, I see. So, the Soul Engine is opening up shots just into the Ungor Spearheads for now. It's going to be a very interesting fight. Park Map's going to have to do a lot of cycle charging with those Ferromanticores to get good damage from them, and the Saurus Spears will be a problem. Luckily, the Chariots are a fantastic answer for them. 2 Tuskor Chariots, that's enough to really run down pretty much all of these Saurus with effective cycle charging, but of course, a load can happen. You can be pinned in place by the Stegodons themselves, who are starting to unleash some fire into the Ungor Spears in the front. We do say Fat Traitor can go down. You can see the amount of work this gets done into those Saurus Spears, doing some good stuff itself. I think Traitor King, though, should be used on cavalry. I think that's where it's best, so I wonder how it does up against single entities. We'll have to wait and see. Poor little skinks are being opened up now by Ungor Raider pressure, but the Saurus Spears are going to make short work of this front line. You can see the Beastmen really going for that left-hand side flank overload. We have the Gorgon here, we have Torx the Brass Bull, all of the chariots looking to swarm in, but the Lizardmen do rearrange their battle lines here to try to fend off the enemy, although it looks like the Tuskor chariots deciding, you know what, we're not going to come to you, we're going to hammer down your Saurus Spears in the front line and try to win this initial engagement, which is a rather smart idea. Tuskors, as well as the Brave Shaman and Torx, are going headlong in now to the large creatures with a roly-poly attack animation. I love to see it. But both Stegodons are moving in to intercept Taurox, and they're going to be able to bring the pain pretty badly to him. He is, a tanky lord, but 2 single entities is a bit too much. In comes the Blood Brute, though, looking to assist and dish out the damage. We're also going to be getting a Blood Statue of Spite, Shield of the Old Ones coming down, and a Traitor King. So all of the buffs and debuffs really being laid on thick here. One bit of good news for the Lizardmen is the Skink cohorts with their javelins. They need to just aim at the Blood Brute now and tear him to pieces. In the front line, Harpies have landed, likewise have the Ferromanticores, and what was initially a good engagement in the front line for the Lizardmen has turned far more even. Saurus just about holding on at the moment. Ungor Raiders can now move up to try and assist in the destruction of the ancient Stegodons. A really lovely Earthblood did go down. The Blood Brute has taken massive fire now, taken on both single entities alone, plus the Javelin Fire coming in. Oh my god, look at his HP just drop. Now, he does basically have the hunger. I think it's called something different here. Wherever it is. Where is it? It's called something. Strength and Flesh, there we go. So when he's in combat, he will indeed regenerate, which is good news for him, and now he is taking on the Ancient Stegodon. When Ancient Stegodons don't have their charge popped, they are far less scary combatants, so you'd think the Blood Brute will be relatively safe here, particularly with the support of the Brave Shaman of Wild. Torx the Brass Bull is trying to duel the other Ancient Stegodon on the far side, but the Solar Engine is firing all the while. It will be applying that blind effect to the Blood Brute, which will debuff its melee stats here. Saurus Spears are overwhelming as well. In come the Ferromanticores. It looks like one Stegodon is a bit more beat up than the other, but down the Blood Brute Behemoth goes, and that is massive news, forcing the balance power in favour there of the Lizardmen. Ungor Raiders are raining some good shots into the flank of the Saurus Spears, but Skink cohorts, unfortunately, have hopped onto these poor Ungor Raiders. The Skink's going to be having a whale of a time there, and things are starting to look a little bit bleak for the Beastmen forces. Despite that, though, balance power is dead even. Torx the Brass Bull is still alive and trying to cleave his way through this Ancient Stegodon with his dual-wielding axes. But if he gets 2v1, he will not last long, particularly with the healing coming in from the Slan Mage preset. Tuskor Chariots are going to start rolling dirty. They want to clear out basically all of the infantry where possible and allow the Ungor Raiders to apply that pressure, get the Brave Shaman in here, dishing out the damage. And it looks like a Traitor King will indeed go down on the Ancient Stegodons. That's going to slow them down, allow Torx to catch up, and really pound them down quite badly. Still a very even game. The Tuskor Chariots have finished off some skink cohorts here. Need to start working on all of these skinks as well as Saurus. And the Brave Shaman of the Wild is very, very healthy at the moment. Problem is, though, for the Beastmen is they don't have healing like the Lizardmen. Both these Stegodons have had considerable Earthbloods up to this point. Torque's Brass Bull is starting to get danger low. Needs to escape the pressure of the double Ancient Stegodon. In the back line, we do have some Saurus Spears who have overwhelmed the poor Ungor Raiders at the moment. There are some Harpies who can return, though, and perhaps protect that back line. Brave Shaman of Wild is rolling dirty at the moment through all the infantry, putting up a fine fight indeed. It looks like one Ferroman score has returned to the field. May even want to risk going after this Slan Mage Priest and at least just try and do as much damage as possible, or get over here and support Torque's Brass Bull, who's been an absolute beast so far, an absolute tank. Surviving in this fight far longer than I expected him to. Really pitting the Blood Brute Behemoth to shame with his performance here today. You can see Tuskor Chariots doing a good job, though, running over some of the remaining infantry alongside the Brave Shaman of Wild. Ungor Raiders attempting to whittle down the Slan Mage Priest's HP, but he is a chunky boy indeed. Saurus Spears, as well as the Skinks, actually terrified away from the Feral Manticore, and this is a really good chance. Get the Manticore, get the Brave Shaman, and assassinate that Slan Mage. Take away the healing. Brass Body is currently popped on Torox, but he is going down here, and with that, the bounce power goes really heavily in favour of the Dino Boys, and it looks like, yeah, he completely shatters, and with him going down, army losses set in. A close fight, a real fast and furious, just blood and thunder affair, blood, guts everywhere, and the Stegodons do roar victorious. Healing Stegodons, it's going to be something I need to try out, I believe, in this matchup, because it's one I have been struggling with from the point of view of the Dino Boys. Well played to both Saphir and Park Map, and that shall be 1-0 to Saphir going into this first semi-final here. Slan Mage Piece of Life was key, only 450 damage value, but that wasn't at all what he was here for. He was down to try to heal up those Stegodons, and he did that absolutely expertly. The Saurus got pretty good kills across the board, but for the most part, poor damage value. So as I say that, these last two units, 850 and 992, is not shabby whatsoever, assisting against the big Blood Brute Behemoth, and helping out the Ancient Stegodons where possible. The Skink Javelin play was really masterful. You can see pretty much all of them paying for themselves, and by a considerable margin as well. 69 kills on this unit of Skink cohorts, just aiding in taking down the large beasties. 974 damage value on the Bastiladon with a really nice blind effect, helped assist these Ancient Stegodons, who got 2,000 damage value, only 9 kills, but that doesn't matter, and 1,134 on the second one, with plenty left to give. They're both about half HP coming into the end game there. As for Park Map, Torque's the Brass Bull, 1,845 damage value. I thought he was a real solid linchpin for Park Map's forces, and managed to hold out against those Stegodons for a considerable time. 1,332 damage value on the Brave Shaman is amazing work. 118 kills, 13k damage dealt with some really well-placed Traitor Kings. Of course, the front line just died. Ungor Raiders performed pretty mixed, to be honest. The first unit did really good, the others fared far poorer. Tuskor Chariots themselves, they are really annoying to kill, but they don't tend to get the best damage value, but still did a good job wiping out the Lizardmen infantry and making a close scrap in the end. Both the Manticores did struggle, and so did the Blood Brute. If it only gets 840 damage value, you know you are in a bit of a tough position. GG. So up next, we are on to Galbaraz here. The lady wills it! And we shall not fight Dowie or Lizardmen. I love this. Can you hear that? The thunderous approach of Bretonnian Cav. Oh no. Sometimes the most powerful enemy is the one you least expect. Ooh. The mind games have begun. Man, these guys, such good sports. I love seeing these guys in action. GG's, yep, everyone's seen GG's across the board. I believe someone did pop up, and I was meant to say hello to them, but then the battle started and I missed it. Aloys, there you are! Sup, Quackers? How's it going, man? Hope you're all good today. What's up, Kevin? Mounts are just bugged for some reason. So basically, yeah, they're hitting way more than they should do. So I believe the problem is all of their splash attacks are counting as like their main attack, so they tend to do a ton of damage all round. Yeah. When Stegodons fight, they go blah 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 blah. I love it. By the way, the Stegodon name feels so weird considering they are basically Triceratops. Yeah, I guess that's true, but their kind of hands are tied by Games Workshop. I love the blob 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 then. I'm gonna have to say that next time we see them going in. None shall resist the Dino Tanks, man. Yeah, they are so tanky and can do some really good work. Really good work indeed. Great game. I agree. I thought that was a really good fun one. Gary and his other brother Gary? Do you mean Jerry? Had it with the Beastmen? Man, I love all the names we give to the feral dinosaurs. I don't think the Carnosaur has one. We need to find one for him. Thanks for covering the damage values. No worry, Peter. No worries. It's always quite interesting to see how units performed. Although damage dealt and damage value isn't always hugely key. It all doesn't necessarily reflect the impact a unit had sometimes. But yeah, it's always good fun to see though, and how these big damage dealing units went for. Saphir is pretty interested. Park Maps actually countered this with Empire, which is normally not considered a best idea for an Empire player. But again, I always say this over and over again. If, like, you think you have an upper hand or an idea in a matchup others consider weak for you, go for it. Just completely ignore what other people are saying, and they're like, oh no, you have to choose this, this is meta, because often you'll catch your opponent off guard, and that's how the meta is formed anyway with these kind of wild picks, and people trialing out different ideas. Builder's ready. I'll be right back. No worries, Saphir. I'm also ready. Yeah, in actuality, is because Beastmen was always my usual counter pick, and I faced Bretonnia a lot when picking Empire. Okay, so maybe a lot of people have countered Park Map in the past with Bretonnia into his Empire, so he's well versed in it. I've seen Grombrindle do the same stuff up against High Elves, and these lads are ready. So let's very quickly, before we load in, sort out the scoreboard. It is 1-0 to Saphir. Hop back in and get us cracking. Carno equals Richard. Gary's a Basilodon, not a Stegodon. Yeah, Gary is... Well, I think people keep saying they want to rename the Ark of Sotek something else and have the solar engines as Gary, but I love the Ark of Sotek as Gary. It's hard for me. Charlie Saurus it should be. Oh god, I've opened up... What's up, Apex Sheep? I've opened up a can of worms here, I think. You're surprised you don't see Gorballs more? Yeah, I actually had a game the other day where my Gorballs did absolutely fantastic. It's just at the moment they're overshadowed by the other heroes that the Beastmen can bring in the form of the Wargore and Shamans on Tuskor Chariots and all that kind of fun stuff. So this is going to be an interesting one. It's not a matchup we see terribly often. Back in the day, I often found that Bretonnia won the infantry fight because they really heavily overcompensated for it, and lost the cavalry fight because the Empire went real balls to the walls of demigryphs and stuff. So I'll have to see how that does go. For the forces, though, of Bretonnia and Saphir, who currently is ahead here, 1-0 in the semi-final, we have Peasant Bowmen dotted along, I believe 2 of which have pox arrows and 2 basic ones. We have 4 units of cavalry. It's going to be the traditional quad Questent Knights. None of the Regiment Renown, though, which is a little bit sad, but still, that is some real hard-hitting elite cavalry, looking to prove the people wrong and say that, you know, Quest Knights still have a place in the game. We have men-at-arms and peasant mobs dotted all the way along, just chilling, vibing, here to die and hold back the enemy, just with sways and sways of men to protect these peasant bowmen, whilst the cavalry does some effective cycle charging. We do have 2 field trebuchets. Is it 2 or 3? I think just the 2. That's going to be a nice little bit of pressure onto the Empire forces. Can be risky if they've gone cannons, but also can pay off. And then we have the classical Fey Enchantress with her 2 boyfriends, both the paladins, one of course of which has Guardian. Coming in with Awakening Woods, we have Earthblood, as well as Dwellers Below, which is so funny. You never used to see Dwellers Below, and it has become more and more of a popular pick. For the forces of the Empire, oh no, this could be disaster for Park Map. He's gone with a real defensive approach, not realising his opponent has brought those trebuchets. That could cause quite a few problems, because at the moment we have a lovely box of halberdiers and spearmen, Sigma Sons dotted all through the front line, triple huntsmen in the central core alongside the silver bullets. We have Balthazar Gelt on horseback. I thought we were going to get Foot Gelt there. Park Map, you mad lad. I love seeing Balthazar Gelt here. Staff of Valanis, Arcane Conduit. We have Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom. We have 1 Warwagon Mortar, in fact. That's interesting. 2 Warwagon Mortars. When was the last time you guys saw Warwagon Mortars? I have no idea when I've seen these guys in competitive play, but they're probably going to be a good counter to the Peasant Bowmen. We have Pistoliers, 2 of which on this flank, and on the other side, 2 more Pistoliers. If I am Park Map, it's a tough decision, But I'm probably sticking to my guns and going defensive, and I'm just let the field trebuchets do their work. Let them do their worst. You've kind of got to dodge the shots with the silver bullets, but huntsmen do, of course, come in with stalk, so you don't have to worry about that too much. And the mortar crews maybe might be able to break the field trebuchets with a bit of focus fire. We'll have to wait and see. But it's a rather interesting build from the Empire. Certainly not what I expected. I expected heavy cav to counter the Bretonnians. We're going to have to see how this works out. No Luminarch, I know, Raptor. I'm a little upset. We can have a word with Park Map afterwards about the lack of Luminarch action. Good micromanagement by Saphir, though. He's going to be dodging those mortar shots where possible. War wagons have decided to creep back at the moment. Field trebuchets unleashing their first salvo onto the Pistoliers and connecting, dragging down a few of the models. Pistoliers are very cheap, though, so they won't mind too much. The other two units are starting to push forward as well, aiming at their Paladin and Fey Enchantress crew. Warhammer mortars, let's see, they are still going after the peasant archers, I believe, really trying to whittle them down. The field trebuchets, though, are going to start having a whale of a time if nothing does eventually bring them back. The Fae is getting really aggressive. There are no nets to pin her in place, otherwise she really could be in all sorts of troubles with the Huntsman. But it looks like she's going to take some initial burst damage and then fall back to relative safety. War wagons slowly moving back before turning around to once again unleash some shots. The unfortunate thing about war wagons is they are relatively easy to dodge, and Saphir is one of the best micromanager players in the entire game. But you can only dodge so much, and the peasant bowmen do take a bit of damage for the first time in the game here from some of the mortars. Pistoliers as well, trying to find a home, darting, bobbing, weaving, going left and right, trying to find good targets, as the mortars once again do start to open up, and this could be a juicy volley into the Question Knights as well as the peasants. Oh my god! That's what happens when they connect. Down to nearly half HP, they're wavering and nearly breaking from one successful volley. I'm going to have to try out these war wagons. They are quite a lot of fun. Pistoliers, this is really good play by Park Map. Absolutely fantastic play. Move round the right-hand side and apply pressure to these field trebuchets. That's going to force really expensive Question Knights to sit out of the action if you want to protect them, because he's not left any troops to defend here. This is a really nice little bit of pressure and mind games going into Bretonnia, and you can see the archers are taking massive damage now across the board. Huntsmen are starting to unleash some salvos into the enemy battle line. Pistoliers are staying really wide on those flanks, which I like to see at the moment because they're always a threat then to the back line. Two Question Knights to defend field trebuchets. I would definitely move forward with one. Then again, the Pistoliers are probably going to come and say hello and start having a cheeky little bit of damage. One unit of Peasant Bowmen has been deleted at the moment. Dweller's Blow is going to be very nice here when it does go down. And there's not too much in this build to deal with the Fey Enchantress and her double Paladins. That's the main problem, I think, for the Empire. But everywhere else is going good. Oh, in comes the Dwellers Below, though. Oh, that's some nasty stuff. The Huntsman just getting slaughtered, as well as the silver bullets. I think the micromanagement at the moment of Park is on these Pistoliers and other units who are actually starting to swarm back to shut down the Peasant Bowmen. But that was a really nasty spell coming down. But in a counter punch, we have the final transmutation, catching Question Knights at the Paladins, basically everything, which is good to see. It is kind of moving away, though, from these troops alongside the Question Knights. It's kind of sticking to them rather than being on the ground, and that's actually a blessing there for Saphir. Pistoliers in the back are doing a good job hunting down peasants now and forcing them off the field. The other two Pistoliers need to be careful, though. They charged in and shot down two archers, but need to fall back due to the Question Knight pressure. Bretonnian infantry is just getting slaughtered at the moment, but the box has been opened up. The silver bullets are going to turn to unleash some shots, and they need to start firing, and they need to start firing now into these Paladins and the Fae. But it looks like they're, I don't know what they're doing. They're kind of just vibing. A rock does catch that Paladin with some friendly fire there. Halberdiers can now start to surround these troops. Question Knights are coming in with a charge and an Earthblood into the spear wall at the moment. But in the back, it is absolute havoc. Peasant Bowmen running in all directions. Question Knights as well need to be on their toes because more Pistoliers looking to swoop in to finish off these field trebuchets. But Saphir has eyes in the back of his head, and he's going to be looking to protect his troops where possible. The adult Paladin is so scary with the Fey Enchantress right now. Look how many units she is starting to wither and drag down. Silver bullets do seem to be unfortunately going down here, and they only have 29 models left. Their damage output is key to taking down the Paladins. Balthazar Gel is going to be going toe-to-toe in a wizard duel up against the Fey Enchantress, but he has the support of some Halberdiers. It looks like Bretonnia are starting to knock on the door there. That Dwellers Below really did open things up when it was looking quite bleak for the forces of Bretonnia. Pistoliers in the back are now being forced off by the Peasant Bowmen, and they're a little bit more free reign to come back in, though there are still two Pistoliers on this right-hand side to pop in at some point. Balthazar Gelt is getting danger low at the moment, hunted down by the Paladin as well as the Fey Enchantress crew. We have a load of Halberdiers left though, and they're starting to surround these guys and drag them down. Another well-placed final transmutation could be key, but it looks like Parkmap actually decides to bow out a little bit early there. I think he certainly still had a chance. Another final transmutation coming down on a lot of those troops. There was a load of Halberdiers around as well. That was an odd one. I don't think he should have bowed out there. But, you know, maybe he thought it was over and there was no hope. I mean, the Paladin Core and the Fey Enchantress were still both very healthy. 2,148 damage value on her. Very good up against box builds in general. The Paladin struggled, but they were full health, so still plenty left to give from them. Across the board, the infantry didn't really get anything to write home about. No crazy damage dealt, damage value. The peasants really struggled as well due to those mortars and good pressure from the Pistoliers. Question Knights across the board as well really struggled. It basically came down... Yeah, look at these Quest Knights. 500, 400, 0, 165 damage value. Really struggling to get into the game. Field Trebuchets didn't do much either. It really basically was Fey that solo carried this. As for Parkmap, Balthazar Gelt, 740 damage value. Spearmen as well as Halberds didn't perform amazing. Huntsman got some okay damage value. Actually, no, pretty poor stuff. Likewise, Silver Bullets. Good pressure with the Pistoliers, though. I like Parkmap's tactics to push them out wide to stretch Saphir's troops. And the mortars, 544 and 500 damage value, getting in some good work there. Good luck for later. Nice dodges. GG, well played. Yeah, looks like he just did a bow out there. GG, well played, man. See you in the finals. I'm very surprised he popped out there. I think if he... We don't obviously know how much Winds of Magic he had. I think another final transmutation could have carried it. It's really unfortunate with that first one kind of being dragged along by the Question Knights rather than being placed on the ground there. I love the Dwellers play so much, man. The Dwellers did so good. Sebastian, the IKEA duck has arrived. Hope you're all good, man. Yeah, the double Paladin's Fey was going to be the big problem. I really liked the War Wagon idea, but once the Silver Bullets went down, they were kind of like his main counter right to that. How do you deal with Fey double Paladins? It's the nemesis of builds to go against. You assassinate them with... I mean, Terror is quite good against them in general, I will say. And you can, like, break them. So they can be squishy, but Fey's very slippery. It is tough. It is what makes Bretonnia as good as they are, though. So it's fair. We're going to pop him up to 2-0 there. And hopefully the other quarterfinals is done and over. They did start a considerable amount later than this side of the bracket. And it looks like we are still waiting a little bit. So we have Lunacy and Suave still playing. Let's hop in and see if we can find them. And then we have Ice Power up as well. So, because we can always watch this quarterfinal game if they're still going on. I will message them in the Discord if we can't see it, but unless I'm being blind, I do not see them here. I'll send Lunacy a little message. Cool, I'll find out what's going on with them, send a message to Lunacy, and then we'll get it underway. Yeah, it literally, the Fey and the Paladins was the problem there. Like, everything else in the build, Parkmap had covered. He had covered, like, the trebuchets weren't going to be an issue whatsoever. They didn't really have too many good targets, to be honest. The cavalry was no problem, the amount of halberds he had. The infantry could be cleared up. The peasants got cleared up by the mortars, but Fado Paladin was just too much for him, I'm afraid. Yeah, armor piercing range certainly helps. Pistolers, unfortunately, don't have armor piercing, but they still can do pretty good work for sure. Yeah, you have to kind of shock route here, I agree. That tends to be the best way. Tends to be the best way. So let's drop a little message as well to the Might of Suave. And then we'll see how close these guys are to finishing. If they've still got one more game to go or something, we'll just pop in and watch it. Just checking Discord, make sure we've got no messages from them. Looks like we're all good. And double check the bracket to make sure. Yeah. So it's going to be Ice Power up against either Lunacy or Suave. The maps shall be Pillar of Bone, Tower of Heft, and Storm Demon. Waiting to see how these guys are faring in their current game, however. And going to keep a little eye out for that. But until then, we can just host up get everything good and ready to go, and I can chill out for you guys. GG, well played. I still like the Empire build, but yeah, I need answers to Fadeable Paladin. Yeah, Park, that build was actually really cool. I really enjoyed the build quite a bit, actually. I think it was very powerful and not something I was expecting at all. If the Silver Bullets and Huntsman had survived, the Dwellers Below was really nasty. Catch them out. If they'd survived, they'd have been a good answer to Fadeable Paladin, but they were literally the only problem. You had everything else covered. It was a real inventive build, which could certainly do some decent work. So, let's go to Pillar of Bone, which will be the first map here. I was hoping to shoot them, but it's hard against a good Bretonnian main. Yeah, Saphir has some pretty insane micromanagement, for sure. For sure. Hey, Roboduck, have you played The Hunter Call of the Wild? Why does that sound so familiar? I don't think so, Sebastian. I don't think I have. I've been playing a game called Ori recently. Because I actually got a Switch. A couple of months ago when I went travelling. I had succeeded with this build. First time it loses. Yeah, man, I could certainly see it being really good. Yeah, Park, really, you're surrounding to Sophia, which is a tough competitor for sure. Awesome. It looks like we are good to go, so it is going to be Suave. Let's message them here. Ice Power. Lobby is up. And we get these boys in. So let's see if I have them on my friends list. We have Spice Power. And we have Suave. Not Ori like the dwarf, no, you're like a little spirit. It's not a game I'd usually play. It's kind of like a Hollow Knight style of thing. Why every time when I'm at work? Sorry, Nick. Sorry, man. A Complex. Oh, Complex is Sons of the Mountain. That's really cool. Hello there. Wrong lobby, I am afraid, bud. So I'm afraid Complex has not made it to the all the way through here. We're just waiting on the other two lads. But yeah, it's a really good fun game though. It's kind of, yeah, very Hollow Knight-esque for sure. You might have played the Hunter Classic. That's a free game. I don't think so. What's the Hunter about, Sebastian? Yeah, no, Gelt's a good pick. I like Gelt there. I think it works well and synergizes with your build quite good. Yeah, I mean, and the mortar wagons and like making them work. That was kind of the crazy thing. Hello. So Ice is going to be on the left. Let's turn this around. So Saphir did go through the first semi-final with a mighty 2-0 victory there. And we'll have to see who does meet him in the grand finals, which will be best of 5, guys. So plenty of games left to come. We do currently have Ice Power on the left-hand side. The #1 Marathi Simp in the entire game. And then on the right-hand side, we are going to have Suave, an OG, actually, of the Total War Warhammer community. Been around in competitive tournaments, winning tournaments as well, for a very long time. He's a scary combatant indeed. Very scary. You have to hunt animals in it. I mean, I should have probably guessed that from the name. Yeah, the War Wagons don't lose to Trebuchets and do good up against the Archers. I mean, when you connected Park Map, you did some really good damage, though. You really did start to break those peasant archers. And I was telling chat during the game, if you do go back and watch at any point, you pulling the pistol as wide to force him to defend with his Crescent Knights. Yeah, that was a round of applause for me, man. That was some top-notch play. Give bread, don't make me come down there, young man. What's this about? I appreciate all bread. Bread's actually delicious. Like, I'm not even being ironic about that, but me being a duck. Tiger bread, baguettes. It's all good. It's all good. Hello. So, maps are Pillar of Bone, Tower of Hoeth, and Storm Demon. Awesome, just let these guys know what's up. Hey, what's up, Dame Offensive? How are you? I'm seeing a severe lack of ducks in the chat. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Dame Offensive, One of the most badass Total War content creators here on YouTube. Does a load of cool tournament stuff. We've raided her a few times, so I'm sure you guys are familiar by now. Could always go for the net plus Luminarch to catch someone off guard. I think that's a really risky strategy, but yeah, sure can work. Definitely work as well. It's a relaxing game. I could see that though, just, you know, vibing and hunting down creatures. Quack Quack Nafis, what's up, man? Yes, I've seen a lot of ducks now. Yes, Dame Offensive has summoned the Duck Legions. I want to see a King of the Hill with only mirror matches. I think that would make me cry. So, this is the second semi-final. Sophia did go through with a hard-fought 2-0 up against Park Map, and now with Ice Power versus Suave representing XMT and RTK respectively. And Ice Power is here to pick and ban first. Going with Chaos, banning Beastmen and Vampire Counts. Suave, a very talented Rush player actually. He used to play kind of almost predominantly Rush, but has certainly evolved his tactics over the years, and can play Chaos himself to a really good level, so he'll be prepared for all their tricks up their sleeves. And he's coming in with the Greenskins. The lads are here. I've basically seen no one pick Greenskins. Oh no, he might be switching up to Dark Elves. Oh, no way! Is he going to go with Ice Power's main? That's hilarious. We'll have to wait and see what he does. You certainly got to see them now. Doing okay, thanks. Came for cute ducks. Awesome. We're just in a little bit of downtime right here. We've just done a pretty furious best of 3. We're going to let these guys design their builds, and then we're going to hop into the game. Feeding ducks bread is illegal in certain places because the bread has no nutritional value and they eat too much and get sick. This is true. Now, it's you can indeed feed ducks bread. It's like, it's not 100% amazing. It's not great for them in particular. A little bit of bread's fine, but I recommend seeds. You can use bird seeds, basically any nuts and seeds. They absolutely adore, so do give them that. Which is kind of ironic because I don't like nuts and seeds, really. Well, seeds are fine, but not so much on the nut front. I don't have an allergy or anything, but it's just not my vibe. Going Greenskins. Okay, so we are going to see the Greenskins. This should be some good fun. I hear if you play Marathi versus Ice Power, he just gives up. I'd bring Hellebron just to stunt. Bring the opposite lady. It'd be funny if Ice got beaten by his main faction. Oh man, I hate it when that happens. When Lizardmen like dumps to me, particularly if I brought a hard counter, I'm just like, oh, this feels bad. This feels bad. Awesome. So these guys designed their builds. Contemplating. Looks like neither of them had builds prepared, so maybe it's not a matchup they're too well versed in. It's going to be interesting to see how Greenskins perform here. Of course, they have been nerfed significantly in the latest patch, but they're still very powerful, and it's really funny that no one picks them anymore, because I still think they're probably S tier, and arguably one of the best factions in the game. Probably top 3 still. Despite the small nerf that they did. Well, relatively big nerf they got across the board. It's going to be fun, though. Hope you guys have been enjoying the stream so far. Had some awesome games, plenty more to come. Still got this semi-final and then a best of 5 final. Aloys was recommending Spirit Leech in the Paladins. Might not be the worst idea in the world, but the healing's a big problem there. You really want to like kill the Paladins as quickly as possible and burst them down, rather than slowly weakening them over time. At least is my opinion on the matter. Greenskin chats are really strong now. Yeah, that could do some good work, Xeno. They are limited though. I believe to 2. I think they're limited to 2. We are using Falcon's rules. So you can only take 1 character on a Tuskor chariot. I believe it's 2 Tuskor chariot units, 2 Boar chariot units max. I believe those are kind of the rules. Out of curiosity, do raccoons hunt and eat ducks? I hope not, because I've actually got a little cartoon raccoon tattooed on my arm. And if he was hunting me down, I'd be in big problems. I have a little comic book version of Rocket Raccoon holding a big fat laser gun on my arm, which was really funny because I went in to get the tattoo done. This awesome Russian guy was like, yeah, I'll do the tattoo. He was really hyped about this and stuff. And he had no idea what Rocket Raccoon was. So he was like, laser gun, I give you laser gun. And I was like, yes, you can do a laser gun. And he was really happy. How did Greenskins get nerfed? Yeah, so cost increase to the Skirmish Cav is actually quite huge. It's only like 25 gold or something, but that really adds up, and you can't take that as many anymore. Grom's abilities got nerfed. I believe War overall got nerfed as well. So just a few changes across the board. But raccoons, for the most part, are really tame. If you had, like, a rabid raccoon, yeah, maybe it would go after a duck. But, I went to... It looks like Suave is ready to rumble. Just waiting on ice. But when I went to Florida on holiday a couple of years ago, and we saw some raccoons around, and we're getting a lift somewhere, and the taxi driver was like, oh yeah, if you see any raccoons, they're fine, they're friendly and stuff, because we had one, like, pop into our bin and stuff. He's like, if one has rabies, though, then you need to be careful, because they go for you. So I thought he had ready it up. So they'll go for you. I'm like, oh, how do you tell if a raccoon has rabies? And he's like, oh, the ones who don't have rabies will kind of keep their distance. The ones who have rabies will walk directly at you with no fear in their eyes. And that's when you know you've got a problem and you should probably run away pretty fast, which was kind of hilarious. Glad they at least got... glad they got some nerfs at least, though, yeah, I totally buy they're still S tier. Yeah, they're still definitely S tier, in my opinion. Greenskins are not fun to fight. They're way more fun now than they were before. But, yeah, I saw people were hosting some tournaments on older patches of the game, because this one does have a few bugs, though we've kind of sorted out a lot of the problems just in the community of sorting out our own rules. But people still aren't happy with, like, the Flock of Doom, air effect spells, but I can't go back to just seeing greenskins every game. I really can't. I was so ground down by the end. I didn't want to play in tournaments, didn't want to do any of that stuff. When did the stream start? About, I want to say... It wasn't actually that long ago, 45 minutes ago maybe? We're on to the second semi-final already. Remember when greenskins were down at the bottom? Yeah, yeah. So it's cool they got their time in the sun though. Yeah, I mean the spiders have been increased. Boar chariots are not banned, you can take 2. You can take 2 boar chariots. Yeah, like, I can check how long it's been running, but I have to, like, jump out of the game, unfortunately. Ice is taking quite some time. I wonder what he's plotting. He maybe isn't super use. I haven't seen him bring Chaos that much. He tends to main, well, definitely Dark Elves. He's a big fan of Dark Elves. And does bring... what else have I seen him bring quite a bit? He does like his Empire. He's a big fan of Volkmar and like triple handgunner style builds. So I would say those are probably 2 of his strongest factions, at least from what I've seen. And he does love his greenskins. He's brought a lot of greenskins in the past as well. Quack Quack Duck Man. What's up, Muglog? How's it going, dude? Hope you're all good in the hood. Lovely to have you here, man. You've made it in time for the second semi-final. And we're about to get it underway. Sorry about the little delay there between games. Suave was just finishing off the last quarter-final, but we're now ready to rumble. All chariots are wonky at the moment regarding splash damage. I don't think all chariots are. Stuff like lion chariots are fine. It's just Tuskor chariots, boar chariots, and in the character versions of those 2 as well. Tomb King chariots don't seem to be bugged. Yeah, Tomb King chariots are fine. A few are, yeah. Boris is quite good fun. Volkmar probably is the most powerful Empire character, at least I would say. I was tempted, I don't know if you guys would be interested in this, to do a best legendary lord in every single faction video. But I don't know. Remember to drop those likes for the Duck Screams Raptor. Yes, guys, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff really does help out. You can become members of the Royal Duck Guard, like Raptor did here today, and there's a load of links down below to Patreons, Discords, where you can get involved in events like this and all that good stuff. So yeah, feel free to peruse whilst we are, of course, loading in. Yeah, boar chariots are very good at the moment as well. And here we go. What are your thoughts, by the way, Emperor, on the basic human general? Empire General, because he also can do a kind of similar job to Boris, being a bit cheaper, but of course without that regen. So for the forces of Ice Power, it is to be expected to come in with a ton of skirmish cavalry. My god, we have 4 units. Oh no, 3. Oh no, okay. Oh my god. Okay, I thought there was too many. We had a load of horse masters, but we have a mixture of horsemen and horse masters. It looks like 2 horse masters. The rest are the basic horsemen. So going very wide with the skirmish cav. Cheap and cheerful with the infantry. For the most part, we have Chaos Marauders dotted along. These guys are drugged up. They're drunk. They're they're furious, and in the name of Khorne and all that is unholy, they're here to reap bloody carnage. And oh hell yeah, Ice Power coming in with some of the most elite badass rock and roll troops, triple chosen with great weapons across the board. That's actually going to be quite a big pain, I think, for the forces of the Greenskins to deal with. We have the Everwatcher himself, the big old duck of chaos. This is what happens when a duck does fall to chaos, with those white eyes coming in with the final transmutation, and that's going to be it, and that's honestly all he needs. Ice Power, very good with those kind of air effect spells. Obviously, having a load of practice, I should say, with Marathi and her Soul Sealers. We also have a lone Exalted Hero up in the sky. No Marker Khorne, though, which is quite interesting, perhaps trying to save some budget. For the forces of the Greenskins, looks like they are dancing around at the moment. We have a load of Goblins, which is quite interesting. Literally a bucket ton of Goblins. We have some Night Goblins as well, mixed in with Savage Orcs. We have some Black Orcs as well in that central core. And the Crimson Killers! Oh, hell yeah! This is going to be awesome. We're going to see Crimson Killers up against Chosen with great weapons. Crimson Killers will win that fight one-on-one. There's a lot of skirmish cav. That is going to be a big problem, I think, for Suave. We do also have a load of archers in the back. It looks like Orc Araboys. We are going to be seeing Grom the Paunch, nerfed, but still very powerful and arguably the best Greenskin Lord still. He's going to be coming in with the Lucky Banner. De Grayton is here, as well as Language of the Boys. We have a Giant Ritual Hag with Spirit Leech and Doom and Darkness. Was that Aspect of the Dreadnought? I always get those two mixed up. It's Doom and Darkness. I should have trusted my gut there. We do have the Morgrub's Magi Marauders, so some skirmish cavalry, but on this right-hand side, 2 Goblin Wolf Riders as well. The skirmish is very much going to be in favour of the Chaos, though, here. Seeing Chosen always makes me smile, says Mark. I love it. Elfarian, the Ever Chicken. I mean the Ever Duck. Yeah, it is the big duck boy. 80 charge bonus of 80 melee attack. Crimson Colours will get crumped by all the Chosen. Too much. Yeah, there's too many of them. But one-on-one, the Crimson Colours beat any infantry unit in the entire game. Oh man, the Royal Dark Guard has a nice sound to it. It does, doesn't it? It does. So, here we go. Goblin Wolf Riders are going to start moving forward, looking to poke down the enemy. Greenskin's going to get very aggressive, and I think this is going to be a swift battle, one way or the other. And it looks like all of the Horsemasters are starting to drive forward. Horsemasters are actually very good in melee, and if they can catch out the Goblin Wolf Riders like this, they won't mind whatsoever. Yes, Wolf Riders are more designed combat troops than the Horsemasters, but it's not going to save them, because Horsemasters actually have really decent melee stats. Though this is the bad news, they've been pinned in and now focus fired down by all of the Morgrub's Magi Marauders. You can see they did take a considerable amount of damage, but the Goblin Wolf Riders get finished off for their troubles. In the main fight, it looks like the Everwatcher has taken an absolute pounding straight out of the gate from the Grom the Paunch. The Everwatcher is a decent melee combatant, but he does not want to take this fight, particularly when supported by a Giant Ritual Hag. Night Goblins are just about holding on in there at the moment, but down comes the Exalted Hero, and that should be able to turn the tide there. The Everduck does manage to fall back, having taken pretty considerable losses, at least to its HP. Savage Orcs will cleave their way through Chaos Marauders quite happily, and the Crimson Killers are actually getting charged here, and they're going to be quite happy to be getting charged. There's not too much missile pressure over on this flank, so they really want to get as aggressive as possible. We're going to see, of course, a final transmutation Overcast coming down here, catching Grom, the Giant Ritual Hag, as well as this unit of Black Orcs. But what has it cost him? The Exalted Hero is basically out of the fight, down to just 196 HP. He is shattered and gone from the battlefield. So it was a good cast there, but I don't think it was worth it, particularly because Grom is going to be able to heal up here. In the back line, though, Horsemen doing some beautiful cycle charging by Ice Power, as you'd expect, onto the Orc Araboys, and then falling back when the Goblins did indeed come in here. Crimson Killers are cleaving their way through the Chosen. Doom and Darkness has gone down just to break off these Chaos Marauders. It was Overcast, and it looks like the Chosen may break, and that'd be a disaster because they have so much HP left. And if the one unit of Goblins can be dispatched to chase them off, that'd be a disaster. But Doom and Darkness is going to wear off soon, and it looks like they shall hold at least for now. Crimson Killers getting in there, getting stuck in with the lads, and doing some pretty good damage here. Oh my god, did Ice quit that quickly? No way, did Ice just back down there? Close defeat. Okay, wanted to throw in the towel. Not having a good time there. And Ice Power does get stumped there by Suave. The Everwatcher, 1,500 damage value, which wasn't too shabby. But yeah, the Chosen were just getting the absolute snot kicked out of them, and the Horsemen, unfortunately, basically got no damage value. But well played to Suave, nonetheless. Bit of a limp way to end the first game, but got on the paunch, 1,600 damage value. Really did get in there, assassinated the Exalted Hero, and yeah, dish out the damage there. Blackhawks across the board didn't fare too poorly, to be honest. They were getting in there and doing the work. One unit got assassinated, but that was, for the fact the Manticore had to come in. GG's. Yeah, he threw in the towel like way too early there. He still had plenty of time, but yeah, if he felt like he had lost, he felt like he had lost. So up next, we will be on to Tower of Hoeth. Good play though there, coming by the Greenskins as well, showing that they still are a force to be reckoned with. So up next, let's pop in there. We'll update the scoreboard. And change it to 1-0. This is best of 3. So, of course, there will be more games. He just allowed the Marauders to go down without support. Blue ball in us hard. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. The Chosen are about to rout. Yeah, I think it most likely was game over. He still had the Skirmish Cavalry alive, but Grom could just hunt down the Everwatcher and kill him, and there's almost nothing Ice could do about it. He had Skirmish Cav, but he had lost the infantry fight, so he had no way of stopping Suave just from buffing them out of the game. Imagine being chosen by the Dark Gods only to get slapped around by the base Goblin. Greenskins are still S tier, 100%. I still would argue that they're arguably the best faction in the game, but it's debatable. Debatable. We have to wait a little while longer, I think, to figure out where stuff goes. Yeah, with the Exalted Hero going down, maybe he just felt like he couldn't take down Grom in any way. Which factions do I think are S tier? Oh, it's hard without having the little list up in front of me. I would say Greenskins. Wood Elves is a tough one, because in the hands of a really good player, Wood Elves are still really obnoxious and very powerful. So they're potentially there. Lizard Men are up there as well. I do think they've moved sideways more than up with the latest DLC, because nerfs to Mazdamundi, nerfs to Poison really does keep them down a little bit. But they're way more flexible now as well. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the hotfix to see where they fully lay out. But they're still definitely S tier, though probably not quite as good as the Greenskins. It's a close one. But those three factions are very good. Bretonia are very scary, I would say as well. We'll have to wait. I mean, they don't seem to mind that cavalry is less good at the moment. They're still dominating the scene with their cavalry. And it looks like Ice Power is going to be coming in with Dark Elves, which is a good safety pick for him. If you're down 1, take it back to basics and come in with one of your favourite factions. Suave does indeed, I believe, go Beastmen, banning Lizardmen, and Bretonia. Banning Lizardmen is very interesting. Perhaps he saw the game earlier on that Saphir did manage to pull. And Ice Power's going Dark Elves. I mean, Suave 100% would know Ice Power was going to go Dark Elves here, because it's his faction, right? Yeah, Greenskins are probably still top, but it's a lot closer now. It's hard to say, because a lot of people aren't bringing them in tournaments. Beastmen are honestly kind of a wild card for S tier as well. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that, but we'll have to wait and see how these Finns do unfold. Yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit. But with the Dark Elves, I'm 100% expecting Morathi in the Sky, Double Manticore from Ice. It's kind of the Ice Power classic. And Suave will know this. He can indeed now bring his own Air Force with his own Double Manticores, maybe some Harpies and Malagor. But with Morathi, it's really hard to win those air fights against the Dark Elves. Yeah, so this is a best of 3. And then we have a best of 5 finals. Fear is waiting in the wings, licking his lips, and getting ready to scrap it out. I don't know if Saphir's here in chat. If he is, hello, Saphir. I'm sure he'll be eyeing up his opposition. Yeah, Beastmen are very scary right now, but it's going to take a little while before people realise, figure out how to take them down and all that good stuff. We've seen them lose here today. High Elf still can be good. I mean, it really does depend on the High Elf matchup, because some matchups are really bad for them, but then they've got the Dwarf matchup, the Vampire Count matchup, where they decimate. It's a little harder the Dwarf one now, but you almost cannot lose the Vampire Count matchup as High Elves. It's just, it's instant death for counts. You can't get through a Phoenix Guard box. Oh no, I've hidden chat on my phone. There's your beautiful faces again. Yeah, so when I say high elves are not, like, too terrible, yeah, you basically have to abuse single entities and healing. Realistically. Oh yeah, I mean, you say they're the worst in the game, but they can still win at, like, high-tier tournament play. Which I love. I agree, Nickbert. Which is super good. The fact that they've managed to keep it as balanced as it is with this many factions is pretty wild. It's going to be interesting to see how they manage to cope with this in Total War Warhammer 3. You don't have to pick a L'Oreal. No. Aleph and Nar can be good in certain matchups as well. I quite like him against Dwarves. Tyrion is also a very powerful and capable warrior. I like him a lot against Lizardmen. He can basically take on all of their characters with relative ease, as well as hunting down big dinosaurs. And you have Teclis, of course, is very powerful still to this day. But yes. Okay, we are on Tav Haref, so speaking of the High Elves, we are actually in their realms here, in this glorious spot. Like, it must be really inconvenient, I feel, unless they use magic. The High Elf buildings are really thin and skinny. They must have no room in their towers and turrets, but maybe there's, like, magic at play, and actually there's more room within inside, I'd think. Tyrion is a joke? Nah, Tyrion's fine. I've seen Tyrion get, like, 4k damage value before. It's very annoying. I wish he got given Unbreakable whilst the Heart of Avalon was popping off. Then he'd be very good. But you can certainly bring Tyrion. I've seen him brought a load. Yeah, the problem is he can get pinned in place, of course. But he has something to try and get out of that. And of course, you can bring mages to help support that kind of situation. Anyway, let's go through Ice Power's build, and as to be expected, up in the skies, it is Marathi coming in with nothing but her items, her abilities, and all that good stuff, as well as Soul Stealer and Double Manticore. I don't know if you guys are expecting something different, but you would be wrong to think that. We do have some Scourge Chariots as well. Is it just the one? If so, I'd be a little bit surprised. Maybe there's more lurking in the trees? No, we just have one Scourge Runner. Very interesting. A load of Dark Riders, who are indeed shielded up. We have Seditious Harvesters, so stacking at those two Soul Stealers. Very nasty stuff there. We do have some Dark Riser repeater crossbows, Sisters of Singing Doom, and then a front line of Bleak Swords, as well as Dread Spears. So a really interesting build coming in there by Ice Power. For the forces, though, of Suave, looking to take this series 2-0 and get it out the way as quickly as possible in his mind. His eyes are beamed on the final right now, but he needs to be careful. Ice Power is certainly not a opponent to take lightly. He does have Centaurs of Thrown Axes on the right-hand side, a front line of Goreherds just dotted along with the Koroks Man Rippers as well. Certainly going to have a whale of time up against some of the cavalry if they can get involved with them. Ungol Spears guarding the flanks and rear, Ungol Raiders in the central core. We do have a lone Jabberslife here, right in the centre. Going to do okay up against all the infantry, but the Double Manticores are certainly going to be a big threat. We have Morga the Shadowgave here alongside the Blackhorn Ravengers, and a Foot Brave Shaman of Wild coming in with Viletide, as well as the Cygor Summon, which is pretty interesting. So all round, the Beastmen can take this a little bit defensively. It's a weird build. It's not what I expected at all. Not what I expected at all in this matchup. Look how much the Balance of Power loves Beastmen, though. It's definitely a bug at the moment. Balance of Power is always in Beastmen's favour at the start of the battle. For sure. Oh yeah, Norska, you can bring Wolfric, and you can bring Frog in like 1 or 2 matchups, and that's about it. Scourge Chats are going to be used here to fend off the Centaurs of Thrown Axes, which is certainly a good use of their time. Scourge Runners, there's simply no way to catch them for the Thrown Axes, and they can try and get some shots, but good micromanagement here by the Scourge Runners can simply fall back, and it looks like the Dark Elves are going to be retreating as quickly as possible, but the Beastmen will be able to catch them. The Beastmen are a very good swarm faction for the most part, and it looks like a little bit of reorganization is going on here for the forces of the Dark Elves. Jabberslife needs to be a bit careful. Scourge Runner Chariots and Dark Riders will rinse it relatively effectively, and if unsupported, those Manticores can do a good job. But if the Scourge Runners are spending their entire time running away from Thrown Axes, then the Jabberslife should be in good straits here. You can see the Dark Riders are getting ready and eager to line up some shots. Actually going after the Gorok's Man Rippers, not a bad idea whatsoever. Brave Shaman being on foot is a little bit risky here, because there's a lot of potential to be sniped. but it looks like the Blackhorn Ravagers are now going to engage with the enemy. Beastmen do have a wider formation, so shall be able to whip up and around the flanks, and in their mind, hopefully crush into the enemy rear and back line. Ungor herds are starting to trade now with the Dark Riders, and also firing into some Bleak Swords here, and we are going to be seeing the first Cygor summon. Cygor summon is quite expensive. Not normally something that I think is very powerful, but in this matchup I do agree with it, because Dark Elves are relatively squishy and you can do some really nice damage there. Gork's Man Rippers get hit by Word of Pain and a Soul Stealer. Brave Shaman and Jabberlife come in an attempt to assist, and we have Morgan the Shadowgave here. But look how much damage the Man Rippers took there. Pretty nasty stuff. The Cygor Summon has come into the battlefield now, and Dark Riders slam in to the Gore Herds, doing a little bit of damage, but not too much, because they had to force their way through their own Dread Spears. Ungor Spears do countercharge them quite nicely. Bleak Swords are starting to lose it in the front line, but Sisters of Singing Doom are starting to move up now. Squadron Chariots have been used to rear charge the Gore Herds here. If I'm Suave, I'm taking these Throne Axes and rear charging them back, but the Manticores, as well as Marathi, are floating out onto this left-hand side now to crush down the enemy where possible. Looks like a big fat Viletide did go down, catching the Bleak Swords, and the Jabberlife is going to float over here, doing some really good work for the most part. We haven't seen any of these summons yet from Morgan the Shadowgave, saving those for the later stages of the game. The Cygor up to 16 kills, not doing too bad here, and a lot of the infantry is just dead for the Dark Elves at the moment, but all their mobile units are still online and active, which is very, very scary. Cygor seems to be going down. We are going to get yet another fat Soul Stealer coming in, catching a huge amount here of the Beastmen forces. Oh, that is such a well-placed Soul Stealer. Morgan the Shadowgave, Brave Shaman, Gork's Man Rippers, all of the Jabberlife all getting hit there by the Soul Stealer. That is pretty redonkulous damage there. Jabberlife is going to be coming in, trying to assassinate Marathi now. Not the worst idea, as a big Viletide is going to come down. And a well-placed Chaos Spawn Summon comes into the universe, being birthed in here by Morgan the Shadowgave, looking to pin in Marathi, but she is a devilishly, fiendishly slippery foe, and she is actually going to be able to escape there, so the trap did not pay off. Jabberlife taking considerable damage at the moment. In the back line, Tenacious Harvesters are taking quite a lot of damage, but are dishing it out as well to the Gore Herds. Both Manticores and Marathi are very healthy, and the Squadron of Chariots have managed to escape, at least for now. Ungor Raiders going to be used to try to push back the Dark Riders, but this Jabberlife, without the support and aid of the Ungor Raiders to force back the Dark Riders, could be living on borrowed time at the moment. I'd say the balance power is in favour of the Beastmen, but with two summons on the field, it's probably actually in favour of the Dark Elves at the moment. We're going to get yet another Soul Stealer come down. This one could be done by the Tenacious Harvesters coming in. They're just catching the entire Beastman build. The entire Beastman build, that is really scary stuff. Jabberlife has overextended at the moment. Manticores coming down to feast upon the Jabberlife's skull. Looks like he has managed to fall back to friendly territory. Dark Riders are starting to dwindle on ammunition, as are the Squadron of Chariots, but they've got enough to finish off the big beastie, I think. Dread Spears are rallying here, and it looks like we're seeing some Ungor Raiders being run over in the back lines here by the Dark Riders. Dark Riders, though, also finishing off Ungor Raiders, which is a certainly good target for them. Some Ungor Raiders have come back, looking to fire stuff in. The Gork's Man Rippers will be able to finish off the Dread Spears, and Jabberlife is still alive at the moment. Morgan the Shadowgave is a decent melee combatant, and a big step up on micro for Ice here. This is disastrous. His Squadron of Chariots were allowed to get caught here amongst all these Ungor Spears, but Suave's letting him off the hook and pulling away. No, he could have done really good damage there to the Chariots, but it looks like he instead here wants to keep next to the Jabberlife and not overextend if at all possible. Maybe he's thinking they're not too much of a threat now, with only their 4 ammo left. Dark Riders also getting danger low. Balance power is dead even. Ungor Raiders are getting swarmed now by Feral Manticores, and the poor Brave Shaman is getting assassinated. We do see a call to violence going down, buffing up the leadership of all these troops, but that's not going to save the Brave Shaman, who is terrified away at the moment. Squadron of Chariots once again getting caught in the clutches. A big old bolt from the skies does hit the Jabberlife, who's probably going to be breaking off the field in a second, with only 625 HP remaining. And the Squadron of Chariots once again manage to slink by, but they do this time lose a model. Brave Shaman is alive at the moment. Squadron of Chariots going to continue to skirmish and kite where possible, but the Elves are basically out of ammunition and will start having to commit to the main fight in just a second, but not before the Jabberlife is dealt with and forced off. We're also going to be seeing a Viletide go down on the Dark Riders. I mean, not the worst idea. They are out of ammunition at the moment, but in comes Marathi, in comes the Manticores, in comes the Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer is such a disgusting spell, always has been, and it's basically single-handedly crushed the Beastmen here today, catching the Beastmen multiple times where they've bunched up too much. And that is going to be the end of that. And no, it is not going to be going straight to the finals, because strap yourself in, boys. We have a best-of-3 series on the cards. Ice Power striking back hard up against Suave, taking down his Beastmen forces. Well played to these two champs. Ice Power, 2,494 damage value on Marathi. Pretty much all of it just coming from Soul Sealers as well. 155 kills. That was some really scary stuff. That was super scary. The Bleak Swords and Dread Spears across the board just get absolutely slapped. Likewise, the Sisters of Singing Doom, but that was to be expected. Dark Riders never really found the perfect home, but were used rather effectively in the late game to chase down enemy routing troops. The Soul Sealer from the Snatcher's Harvesters as well, getting massive work done. 935 damage value, 69 kills. Dark Riders with 1.2 damage value, 1.1 on the Scourge Runners. They were the answer to the Javis life, really just whittling it down over time. Suave did some good micro, though, to keep that bad boy alive, but with 2 Manticores full health at the end of the game and Marathi, yeah, it was certainly over. Morgan the Shadow gave only 354 damage value. If the Chaos Spawn Trap managed to work, and pin in Marathi and drag her down, Suave would have won the game, but she managed to escape, and because of that, the Beastmen were out of the picture. Bray Shaman as well, very risky bringing him just on foot, getting sniped out like that. Goreherds did okay across the board, just chewing their way through the enemy. Korok's Man Rippers unfortunately really got focus fired down early on, and the Centaurs never really got into good engagements. Javis Life though it was focused down hardcore by Ice Power, still got 827 damage value and 101 kills there. So GG's. GG. And up next, we are on to Storm Demon. So let's load that up. I'm quickly going to hop in and change the scoreboard. And then I'll come chill out with you guys. So Ice Power fighting back here. Back to 1-all. Boop. And here we go. Here we go. Marathi loves soup. I'm sure she does. You think Beastmen are C tier? Ooh, controversial opinion. Controversial. At least at the moment. I would agree, like beforehand, they were very weak. Yeah, Soup Stealer. It's all about Soup Stealer. It's so brutal. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's really nasty. That's basically what killed the whole Beastman force. But he knew he had it, and he obviously bunched up. But if you don't bunch up, you get run over by the chariots and the cavalry. So it's a tricky situation sometimes, for sure. Yeah, that was Ice's best faction. Yeah. Suave probably still has some of his better factions left. He still has his Chaos, which I know he's very good with as well. So Ice to pick 3, then bam. Suave bans 1 and picks. Good. Yeah, the Chariot Shaman probably does die to the Doom Bolts, but likewise so does the Foot one, which is a problem. Marathi carries hard, oh for sure. I don't know, man. Beastmen are at least A tier for me right now. At least, if not knocking on the door of S. I've seen them win multiple times in tournaments quite a bit, but we have seen them lose twice here today. I have lost twice here today, so maybe we're wrong. Maybe Beastmen are actually still in the dreaded F tier, but I don't see that happening realistically. So Suave's going to be debating, Ice Power, on his picks and bans. Planning, plotting, scheming. And I'm just going to message Saphir, just to let him know one more game to go. Boop. Just a heads up. One more game to go till you are back in. Just going to let him know in case he's not watching and he's taking a break. I know he's been a bit ill today, so he's played very well to get this far. Yeah. If Chariots gets fixed, I mean, I don't know, man. Beastmen are very scary. A lot of their worst matchups have completely turned to being really good matchups. Vampire counts into Beastmen? Easy for Beastmen now. Lizardmen against Beastmen? Far more even than it ever was before. I think they're very good right now. A lot of the matchups which made them really poor before have become way better. Yeah, once the Chariots get nerfed, obviously they will drop down. Agreed. But yeah, Xeno's right. It all depends on the matchup, and it depends on the player completely. It depends on the player. The lack of skirmish power is true, Emperor, though Harpies, Manticores, you can go for a pretty nice air force and kind of kite that way. But yeah, the thrown axes are a bit limited. Which I like, though. I like some factions which don't have huge mass amounts of skirmish cavalry and stuff. So, going to toilet, be right back. No worries, Suave. Ice is going to go for Bretonia, Vampire Counts, and Beastmen, banning Lizardmen. Going to be very interesting to see what Suave does here. Suave is a very good Norscan player as well, but in this is some bad matchups for Norska. I don't know if it's even going to be the best for Chaos, because you come in here and you ban... Ugh, you want to ban a lot of them. You definitely want to ban Vampire Counts for sure. Dowie, 100% not Esther. 100%. That's not even, like, a matter of opinion, I'm afraid, Robert. I like the S-tier list apart from that. Greenskins, Lizardmen, Wood Elves. Maybe Bretonia as well, kind of on the edge. But, Dowie are, very mid. Very mid. Because in some matchups, they're amazing, and in other matchups, they're really terrible. So, for that, I can't put them high up there. But I understand, particularly for a lot of newer players, they hate facing dwarves because they're quite hard to break them down. Frenzy changed across the board, Xeno. It got, I think, slightly buffed. But all the units who have it have their melee attacks slightly decreased. So it's kind of one of those weird sideways changes. Chaos banning Vampire Counts is an option, that's true. I don't know how Beastmen into Chaos is now, is the problem. Bretonia as well is definitely doable for Chaos. But Vampire Counts, Chaos is one of the worst matchups for sure. Daria upper A tier, Falcon showed me, but that's Falcon. Falcon plays High Elves for years in tournaments, and it makes them look amazing. Makes them look amazing for sure. But Dowie certainly can do it. I like people who go really wide with Dowie. I think it's normally the way to go. Yeah, I mean, I think Orion always had Frenzy, if I'm not mistaken, because he's unbreakable. Yeah, only having gyros. I mean, you can go air cheese and kind of pray a little bit. And see how that goes. Please be careful of the language, HGM. But I understand your point. Elves and Skaven are very good against them. Greenskins been good against them. Dark Elves have been good against them. Dowie, can really struggle with Greenskins. Blackhawks are very good. You have the air cheese. It's basically all you can do in that matchup, at least to try to win from what I've seen. You can go very wide as well, and it can still work. But yeah, Blackhawks are very good in that matchup. Grom the Paunch is fantastic. He'll slaughter everything. So Greenskins, at least traditionally, is considered a very Greenskin favourite into Dwarfs. But again, you know, it's all about opinions at the end of the day. These things never get sorted out. Yeah, no, Fanatics will certainly help out quite considerably. And that will certainly help out. Suave going Wood Elves. Ooh, I haven't seen Suave play Wood Elves in a long time. So Suave's going Wood Elves, banning Bretonia, very good ban there. Probably would have gone Air Core if he's up against Vampire Counts. So Ice Power instead is going for Beastmen. Oh, we could have a fight in the skies here, guys. We really could have a fight in the skies. I mean, this is the problem. Everyone has, like, different opinions on the matchup, so these kind of discussions end up going around in circles. They're still fun to have, of course. Looks like Ice was prepared. It says he's on Beastmen for me right now. Oh, no, he's picked Beastmen. What am I talking about? Of course he is. So let's Suave do his thinking. Yeah, I mean, Mark makes a really good point here. He makes a really good point. At the end of the day, there are only two factions with Darks, and does anything else really matter? Lizardmen and Chaos S+++ duct here with the Everwatcher and the Quartals coming in. Do you guys see the, I love chariots and fighting vs dwarves now is awful. The engineer gyro spam is awful. It really depends on the matchup. Gyrocopters are really easy to deal with for certain factions. Like pterodons. They just stop all your gyrocopters and stuff. Like, really easily. But yeah, it depends on the matchup and stuff. So, did you guys see the artwork that they released for the Total War Warhammer 3 stuff? I think it was for Slaanesh. No, Tzeentch, sorry. And do you see they've got, like, little derpy birds? And I'm not asking for much. I'm just saying, what if we had a Regiment Renown version which was yellow, and we called them, like, the rubber derpy birds of war or something? I think it'd be great. I'm not saying we should start a petition and start, you know, camping outside of CA's building and forcing them to pit this in the game, but, you know, kidnapping them and forcing them to pit ducks in the game, I think, is probably for the greater good. I struggle on both sides in that matchup. Oh, CJ, what one's that? Which one's that? Yeah, like, the Dwarf Engineer, restock really hasn't been a problem. I've seen it used once, effectively, in a tournament so far, to restock the, Regiment Renown Gyrocopter, but it's not as useful as you would think, at least from what it looked like on paper. Flashbomb is very good now, but the Master Engineer is far more easy to assassinate than Grombrindle, so though it's been buffed, it's on a weaker target, and in tournaments at least, you can't take too many multiple slows, so... but yeah, it's Dwarfs certainly did get buffed up a little bit, and I like it, because I think they needed the help. The new rune system's really fun to use as well. Rubber derpy birds of war. That's what I'm talking about, Muckluck. It's what I'm talking about. Time for the protest to begin. I love it. I love it. I don't know who we need to contact. There is someone who works at CA called CA Duck. I mean, I feel like he's RN, right? I feel like he's RN. Chaos and Norska have been notoriously good against Dowie. I'd agree, Emperor. Although having only thrown axes to counter gyrocopters can sometimes be a struggle. But, you know, Manticores can help out in that department as well, of course. Yeah. RW. 100%. Like, the gyros, if you're prepared for them, it's going to be okay. If you aren't prepared for them, they're going to be pretty nasty. So, at the moment, at least, you do need to prepare for the Dowie forces quite a bit. But here we go, loaded into the game. A lore-friendly matchup, 100%. Beastmen versus Wood Elves. This definitely, in my opinion, was good for the Wood Elves before. At least I was very comfortable using it. You'd bring Durthu, 3 Glade Riders with Hagbane tips, and quite a lot of Skirmish cav. Then you'd bring the Wardens, Eternal Guard, bunch them around Durthu, kill the enemy thrown axes, and then you're good to go. But let's see how we do fare here today. So, for the forces of Ice Power, he is coming in with a double Ferromanticore up in the sky, the Ice Power Classic here, although he has left Marathi at home. We have 2 Tuskor Chariots as well, so bringing all the chariots today. A Brave Shaman of Wild with Traitorkin on the ground. We have Torx the Brass Bull with the Brass Body. And a Brave Shaman of Death with Doom and Darkness and Spirit Leech on a chariot here. Of course, he can only bring one of those chariots, hence why you're seeing this other Brave Shaman on foot. We have a load of Centaurs, 1, 2, 3, 4 in fact. And then it's just cheap and cheerful Ungors and Ungor Raiders. And yeah, this is kind of how you play Beastmen at the moment. You go real thin on the front line, and then a load of chariots and hard-hitting single entities. It's going to be fun to see how it does unfold. For the forces of the Wood Elves, it looks like we're going relatively traditional. We do have Dryads actually making up the battle line, which will easily overwhelm the Ungor Raiders and so forth. And then we have Eternal Guard to help protect the back line with some Blade Singers. Oh, hell yeah! We have Blade Singers! This is so cool. They're going to be wanting to switch out of their armor-piercing mode and increasing their base weapon damage, because then they really chew through some of the light infantry of the Beastmen. We have a Branch Wraith coming in with Earthblood, just to heal up the boy Durthu, who does have the Sword of Death and Flock of Doom. Going to be a really good pairing at the moment. No Manticore summon from him, however. We have Wild Riders on this flank. It looks like 2 units, in fact, one of which is the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, the Regiment of Renown version. We have some Deepwood Scouts, we have some Glade Riders, and some more Wild Riders as well. So looking to try to win the Skirmish game. It's going to be tough, though. There's a lot of magic on display here. Traitorkin is very good if the Wood Elves bunch up. But we do have Earthblood to try to counteract it where possible. Tuskor Chariot's going to have a whale of a time against this build. There's just not that much to pit them in apart from the Wild Riders. So they need to be very careful and hop on top of them at opportune moments, 100%. Blade Singers, Hell yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. So Wild Riders do a little bit of cycle charging into the Ungor Raiders, but they're being counter-shot now by the Ungor Raiders themselves. But Deepwood Scouts are looking to fire in. These are Wild Riders. Oh my god, what just happened there? All of a sudden, it's like their hits started connecting and the Ungor Spearmen got absolutely dumpstered there by the Wild Riders' thunderous charge. Glade Riders have hopped on top of the back line. Good, beautiful micro here by Suave, shutting down one of those ranged units, but Ice Power is going to retaliate with Centaur Firepower. We do have a fat Flock of Doom coming down as well by Durfu, who is really trying to dish it out with the Blade Singers. There will be a Traitor King coming in. There's all the air effect spells that you could ever wish for. Blade Singers are getting Earthblood. Eternal Guard are trying to get back here to support Durfu, because going up against two Manticores can be pretty tough. Elsewhere, though, the Wood Elves are running rampant. Ungor Raiders being shut down. The Centaurs and Brave Shamans taking a lot of damage, but the Wild Hunters Colonels have been forced back at the moment. Deepwood Scouts being protected by some Wild Riders. Durfu does not stand alone anymore. Pushing back Torx the Brass Bull, flinging away Feral Manticores, cackling as they attempt to drag him down. Eternal Guard are here, and they've certainly helped out quite a bit. Tuskor Chariots have been a nuisance. Wild Riders, though, are going to slam into the flank of these two Ungor Raider units, or Ungor Spearmen, I should say. That's going to be enough to force them away off the battlefield. Deepwood Scouts do try to aid the Wild Hunters, but they have been dealt with. And you can see the mobility of the Ferromanticores, and I think this is why Ice likes them quite so much. This mobile Terror Causes is so powerful, and you can just jump around the battlefield. They are pretty pesky to pin in as well. We're going to see a Flock of Doom coming down, catching all of these units, but honestly, it's not the best targets for them. Durfu is trotting his way over here, and we are going to be seeing a Earthblood come down as well. Load more Dryads are going to start pushing their way into the Ungor Raiders to try to hunt down that back line. Wild Riders can support them in that endeavour. Unfortunately, though, the Deepwood Scouts are being finished off here by some Centaurs. Balance power is massively Beastmen favoured at the moment. Durfu is basically all that is standing with his Eternal Guard box here. If he can clear out the Ungor Raiders, though, which he's doing a good job doing, Suave, maybe Durfu can actually make a really solid stand here. He's beating the snot out of Torx the Brass Bull, despite the brass body being popped right now. Of course, is the support of the Eternal Guard as well. Blade Singers, unfortunately, have kind of been slaughtered. They are up to 46 kills, though, which isn't too bad. Dryads are really running over this back line, likewise are the Wild Riders, and in the main fight, Durfu has popped Foe Seeker, and he really is going to town. Oh my god, he slapped the Brave Shaman of Wild down to about half health with a swing. Second swing gets her down to about a third health. Blade Singers are in the action, as are the Eternal Guard. We need a Sword of Daith going down. We need that Sword of Daith. I don't know if he used it up earlier. There were so many effects going down. I missed a lot of them. And both of the Shamans are currently running away. Earthblood is going to be popped, keeping Durfu alive and in the action. He needs something to be dispatched, though, to finish this guy off. And the Brave Shaman's back, which is going to cause a lot of problems. This Brave Shaman may suffer, though, from trying to escape. Spirit Leech goes down on Durfu, but he is dealing with these Feral Manticores. Durfu versus Dwarf. Balance of power is so close to army losses, which is really unfortunate. Sorry for the sirens going by in the background. They're just excited as well to see Durfu in action. If Army Losses kicks in, that'd be an absolute disgrace, because Durfu is doing such a good job right here. But the Ungor Raiders are now back online. He wasn't able to finish them off, and that was a big problem. Centaurs got back there to protect, and I think that will actually be game over, because the Ungor Raiders, they have nothing to shut them down now, and they can simply fire into Durfu all day long. I thought he'd managed to finish these guys off with Wild Riders and Dryads, but they did unfortunately come back, and because of that, there's just no way. There's no way, I don't think, for Durfu. He's trying his best. He's been an absolute world beater today. Brave Shaman's OP. Don't make me laugh. Durfu is the true power in the woods. Sword of Daith and Flock of Doom goes down, catching a load of units doing some massive, massive damage here. Catching Torx as well, but the Tuskor Chariots can now be used as kind of linebackers just to clear up anything which pushes through onto these Ungor Raiders. There are some Dryads here, but unfortunately they are shut down, and Durfu shall fall. The Bray Herd with some loud moves. I want to hear some moves in chat. Do claim victory, but Suave Man, you did the people proud. Durfu, 2,879 damage value, 15k damage dealt, despite two Manticores, two Brave Shamans, one of which was on a chariot, and Torx the Brass Bull surrounding him. He was just taking names and destroying the enemy left, right, and centre. The Dryads are okay, they're very fast, which makes them a pretty solid pick here. To get into the back line, Blade Singers with a respectable 787 damage value. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, the Wild Riders lost the fight up against the Centaurs and the Tuskors. Tuskors doing really well here, 700 and 790 damage value. Manticore's kind of getting slapped around, but the Centaur play, oh, look at this unit, 1,900 damage value. Really good play there. The Centaurs across the board performed really well, protecting the Ungor Raiders, and that's kind of what sealed the doom, I think. 1,000 damage value for the Brave Shaman of Death. 578 on the Brave Shaman of Wild. Torques a Brass Ball, 1,100. A valiant effort, though, by Suave. Oh, looks like Ice did bounce out here. For some reason. Let's get him back in. Oh, looks like he's here again. And it is time for Saphir. So, sure, do I have Saphir on my friends list? I feel like I should. But maybe we don't. Saphir, where art thou? GG. Yay, we're seeing some moves. Elven Infantry showing you that the more you pay, the less you play. Bladeslayers can be good. They're a bit of an odd choice up against Beastmen, I think, because you're probably not going to get that much infantry to chew through. It's going to be single entities with Beastmen. That's going to be the main problem. But they can do okay for sure. Yeah. But again, Dryads are very good. Dryads are very good. Treekin might be good. They did get buffed a little while ago as well. What does damage value mean? It means how much gold they've killed. So, for example, a unit of, like, Dwarf Miners or whatever, Blasting Charges cost, I think, 400 gold. If you completely wiped out that unit, you'd get 400 damage value for doing that. Oh, okay. Saphir's feeling very ill. So we're going to see if he wants to carry on. He did have to go to hospital yesterday, I believe. So if he's feeling obviously unwell, we won't play it. Hey, sir. Are you okay to play? Farwark Elders versus Torques would be amazing. So Saphir has hopped in. If he doesn't want to play, that's absolutely fine. We won't force him to. I was actually in a voice chat. He popped in a voice chat with me earlier, and he was in hospital yesterday, and he is back out. So, champ. I will ask chat to lend you their strength. Maps are River Maxon, Ayrshire, Toothgrass Hill, Summersong, and Battle of Itza. Quack, what's up, Blackthorn? How you doing, man? So, chat, I need you right now. I need you guys to channel all of your Saphir power right now. Channel it into Saphir. Give him your energy. Because obviously he is very unwell, but a champ nonetheless. Saphir is honestly one of the best players in the game right now. He is very good, did amazing in the WWC. And despite being really ill, has managed to make it all the way to the finals here, up against some really tough competition. And is willing to play on here as well. So, an absolute mad lad. An absolute mad lad. Cheap units give less value, expensive units give more. Exactly, RW, exactly. Let's go, Saphir, nice. Good to see the Spirit Bomb style hype coming in. I love to see it. Sometimes, damage value, though, doesn't equate necessarily to a unit doing good in the game and stuff. I'm going to try my best to give the viewers a show. Saphir is fighting for you guys right now. I'm coming for your head, my friend. Awesome. When you are ready, it shall be ice to pick and ban. Yes. I think he just grabbed a little snacky snack. Dark Elves will win. I don't think we're doing Dark Elves with Bretonia. I'm not sure. Ice Power is going to soul steal all your channeled energy. That'd be so devious. That'd be so Dark Elf. Let's have a little sip of our drink. My voice is a little dead because I did something very stupid yesterday. Very stupid. Got to 11:30, I was like, you know what, guys? You know what I'm going to do right now? At 11:30 at night? I'm going to record part 2 of the Ultimate Lizardmen faction guide, going over all the new stuff, all the new changes, the changes to matchups, builds you can bring. And I started recording. I was feeling pretty good to start with, and I was like, man, I'm so tired. I'm like really tired right now. I can't be going for that long, because I thought it was going to be about an hour long. It's just kind of an add-on to the Ultimate Faction guide. It's like a part 2, going over major changes and stuff. I got through all the changes, got to the matchups. I kept making a load of mistakes, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take a break and come back to this in a little bit. And it was like 1:30 in the morning. I was like, oh no! So I massively overdid it. So I stopped it right there. So right now, the faction guide is about half done. I need to go back and check on it to make sure, because I was really tired. So hopefully my voice is speaking with clarity and it's all making sense. So I might have to re-record parts of it. But at least now that I've done it once, I know what I want to say and all that kind of good stuff. So that should be coming hopefully probably by the end of next week. But of course, it's a bigger video. Going to take a long time to edit and that kind of stuff. So we'll have to wait and see. I think we do indeed have Dino Boys. So yeah, Ice Power is going to hit him with the Lizardmen first pick, banning Tomb Kings and Dwarfs. Okay, two good bans I think all round. Tomb King's very good against Lizardmen. Surprised he didn't ban Skaven. I think Skaven are very nasty for the Dino Boys to deal with. But at the same time, River and Maxon is a map with quite a lot of terrain and cover. So you do have the potential to kind of close the distance without being eviscerated on approach. Saphir shall be going with the Mighty Wood Elves. A classic showdown. I've seen this matchup quite a bit. Lizardman mains tend to think it's slightly Wood Elf favoured. Wood Elf players tend to think it's slightly Lizardman favoured. Meaning, for the most part, it tends to be pretty even. You love Lizardmen, don't you, Doug? Oh, I do indeed. I do. They're my favourite faction. I used to play them on tabletop. So, yeah, I've been really enjoying. I know this DLC's had a few bugs and stuff, but it's the most fun I've had in multiplayer for a long time. I've been enjoying multiplayer. It's not like I haven't been enjoying it. But trying out all the new Lizardmen stuff, trying out all the new Dwarf stuff, even trying out all the new Beastmen stuff, meeting all the new players who come in with DLCs, it's just been a really good couple of weeks for playing. And I've played more quick battles and hopping in lobbies and stuff with people than I have, you know, for the last couple of months. I've been doing, my last couple of weeks have been pretty hardcore. Although I have got some other games as well that I've been playing and enjoying quite a bit. So I did start to realise I'm only playing Total War Warhammer. I was like, I need to play some other games as well. For sure, for sure. I like their lore, but I hate playing against them sometimes. Best thing to do against Lizardmen, a lot of the time. Well, it's kind of a hard one. It turns on the matchup, but yeah, putting roadblocks in their way. Source Warriors are notoriously slow, so having like an Onion-style Dowie build, an Onion-style Skaven or VP build can do really good up against the Lizardmen forces. Likewise, Empire can be fine. Bring Volkmar the Grim, something like triple handgunners as well. Volkmar will kill all of the infantry pretty much on his own. Handgunners to counter the large threats. That can work relatively well as well. So I'd say Empire be good. Dwarfs are completely fine as well. Rule number 1, never chase their skirmishes. It's a forbidden fruit. If you have, like, shielded Dark Riders, then you can go for it. But apart from that, yeah, Hazel, I agree. Excited for Darktide. I am Emperor. I was actually contemplating. I don't know if people enjoy it on the channel, because obviously it is a Total War channel for the most part. Though I do want to branch out to other games as well. I'm thinking of doing some live streams for Darktide. Gastornis is technically a duck relative. Yeah, you shop tier are paying for Lizardmen. The way you want to play up against Tomb Kings as Lizardmen, there's a few ways you can do it. I should be saving this for the faction guide, but you go freaking wide. You go super wide. I'm talking like 5 red-crested skinks, one of which is the Regiment Renown, 3 to 4 Saurus, can be really good, and Chameleon Stalkers in the back line now, as well, just to hop on top of your shop tier and hunt them down. That can work really well. Chariots, of course, can be a threat there. If you've got a slant of light magic, if it's a map with terrain, you can net chariots and dumpster them quite well. Red-crested skinks will have a whale of a time against them if you can pin them in place, and that can be the big problem. So roll in with feral cold ones, or cold one riders can do a decent job as well. Likewise, you can just go for a big overload, bring Krokgar, Hand of the Gods, nuke their characters, and bring him a Carnosaur and hunt these Shopti that way with Pterodon the rider support in the skies. So you basically have to bomb rush the Tomb Kings. That's what I'm saying. Going wide of Lizardmen as well does tend to be very good in almost every matchup. There's very few matchups where going wide is a weakness for Lizardmen. Vampire counts maybe being one of the few exceptions I can think off the top of my head. Looks like we're ready to go though. Yes, Lizardmen are bad versus VP, Skaven as well, but they're both very bad matchups for them. Apart from that, they've got pretty poor matchups, I would say, against Dark Elves, Empire, and Dwarfs. At least from my point of view, right? This kind of changes depending on the person and all that kind of stuff. And Tomb Kings as well can be a bit rough. I do think those matchups aren't horrific for the Lizardmen, but they're a lot harder to manage and a lot harder to play from the Lizardmen point of view. The tactics you have to use are a lot more micromanagement of costing than the Tomb King. So, though it can be considered an even matchup, I think the Lizardmen player has to play better, even. Which I know doesn't make much sense, but it makes sense in my mind, okay? So, for the forces here of the Lizardmen and the Mighty Ice Power, he's going old school traditional. He's bringing 2 Soul Engines, traditionally very good in this matchup, because they can counter-shoot enemy range units, Glade Guard and so forth. But they need to be careful, they have to fall back at the right times, and they have had a points increase, so they're not quite as good as they once were, with a bucket ton of skink cohorts of javelins in the front line, which are, again, good up against Lizardmen. This basically looks like Falcon's build. So you get a load of skinks, you get some Bastillons to shoot the enemy, a load of Saurus as well, many with spears, and some basic ones as well. So again, going very wide, and this is what you want. You want big numbers as the Lizardmen, and sprinkle in with 1 or 2 hard-hitting single entities. Wood Elf Oxyotl leading the battle line. I can see him being very good here. Wood Elf characters do tend to be quite squishy. He is going to be bringing up the Master Predator, and I would rank this up there with Cloak of Isha, and basically it's a must-take. It's a must-take item. It's one of those things, if you take Orion, you take Cloak of Isha, there's no questions asked. Master Predator, you take it, gives them that stalk and unspottable. We have a Skink Priest of Beast coming with Flock of Doom and Manticore summon, and a little Skink Chief who now costs 400 gold, getting a bit of a points increase. For the forces of the Wood Elves and Saphir, we have a mixture of Dryads and Eternal Guard dotted all the way along the front line, which can certainly dish out the damage. Those of you asking for, oh no, it's not Orion! No! I thought we were going to see Orion. We do have a Glade Lady. She's going to have to be careful because of Oxyotl. The Branch Wraith is going to come in with Pendulum, which is really good at dealing with Saurus, and Earthblood, and it's a bucket ton of Glade Guard. Glade Guard Starfire Shafts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, in fact. Some of them are just the basic ones. In fact, 6 units, 7 units, oh my god, 8 units! All of the Glade Guard! A mixture of basic and Starfire Shaft here. 2 Glade Riders in the back to help protect them as well. And I believe it was a Glade Lady. It is coming in with the Prey of Anarth Raymer and the Arrows of Kurnos. It's basically both players going very old school, but Oxyotl kind of chucked in the mix here. Yes, yes. Lizardmen rarely feel micro-intensive. Oof. I don't know. It depends how you play your Lizardmen. If you go like box builds and stuff and just a couple of single entities, then maybe not so much. But yeah, Lizardmen, I think, traditionally is very good when you go wide with them. So you have a lot of units to deal with, and your single entities have to be in the right place at the right time. But, you know, that's just my point of view. Maybe I'm just struggling with the micro. The Dryads do get clipped there a little bit. The Bastillons can do some really nice work. There's not too much backline pressure, unfortunately. That's going to be able to hunt these guys down. So they are going to shoot in and then simply fall back as the Skinks and Saurus advance to stop those Glade Guard from being able to get in here and dish out the damage. We do get an Arrow of Kurnos into the Skink Priest, but it does very little damage, unfortunately. The Skink Chief will take quite a pounding here if he just sits here from the approaching Glade Guard. Dryads are taking huge work now from the Skink cohorts with Javelins, but overruns the Glade Lady. She's probably eyeing up a bit of a net, perhaps, and it looks like the Bastillons have switched their target onto the Glade Guard at the moment. Skink cohorts with Javelins are firing in now to the Dryads, but the Dryads won't mind that too much. We'll be able to push through and engage with the Skinks rather effectively. Saurus are moving ahead of their Skink skirmishers. Good micromanagement there by Ice Power to pop on top of the Eternal Guard, but there is a load of Bowfire coming in, starting to rinse this front line. We do get a Manticore summon up in the skies, which is good to see. The Dryads are kind of getting nuked in the front, though, which is a bit of a problem, but we have some Eternal Guard in deep reserve here, and a load of cavalry as well to plug the gaps. And it looks like Saphir is like, you know what, I'm not going to go after the Bastillons. because you're simply going to fall back. I'm actually going to focus down the Saurus Warriors and try and get rid of your infantry as quickly as possible. But there's so much infantry here. Eternal Guard are being forced forward. We are going to see a pendulum come down, but it's only on skink cohorts. They actually managed to push all the way up into the guard and dodge the worst of the damage. Ferromanticore did get hit with a net and focus fired down, but despite that, did manage to survive quite happily, and the Lizardmen are looking very strong right now. Saurus Warriors can start to push in. Those cycle charges from Glade Riders may stop them. That's just what we're going to be getting on this right-hand side. Glade Guard continue to apply that pressure. Skink cohorts are starting to break, but the Lizardmen front line has held, and in fact pushed back the Wood Elves, and that's normally a really bad sign if you are the Wood Elf player. But on this left-hand flank, Eternal Guard are forcing their way in. Likewise are the Dryads. Glade Guard taking a bit of a pounder now from the Bastiladons, who have used up about half of their ammunition. Branch Wraith is still alive and healthy in the middle of the battlefield. That Ferromanticore is going to be dissipating really soon, so hopefully that Branch Wraith should be able to survive there. Saurus Warriors just vibing at the moment, allowing the Glade Guard to retreat and fall back. Dryads can push up to try to intercept these guys, but at the moment they're taking quite a lot of damage from the Glade Guard themselves. We're going to be seeing a Nerf Blood come down, healing up those Glade Riders as well as the Glade Guard, and it looks like those skink cohorts get annihilated on the charge. Glade Riders having a whale of a time there up against the little skinkies. We're also going to be seeing a Flock of Doom coming in, catching a bucket ton of the Glade Guard there. Unfortunate bug. It does. You see these units aren't even in the circle. It's kind of their air effect has been increased almost more than it looks like. We are going to see a Pendulum come down. Eternal Guard just about holding the line long enough for that to go down, doing some glorious damage to those Saurus Spears. Balance power is currently in favour of the Lizardmen, but they are starting to run out of ammunition, and their frontline push is being overwhelmed. Look at the Glade Guard. There's so many left really pouring in the fire. Do the Lizardmen have enough troops to apply pressure in all directions and not get kited? I don't know. Saurus Warriors being beaten back here on all fronts. Skink Cohort's been run over. We do have 3 Saurus Spears in deep reserve looking to protect the Bastiladons. And the longer the game goes on, of course, the more damage value the Bastiladons will be able to get here. We have a Eternal Guard on this right-hand flank starting to force their way down, and if they can surround the Skink Priest and drag him down, that'd be a really nice catch, and it seems like the Glade Lady is thinking just this as well. Charging in to the Skink Priest, and that is really bad news for Ice Power, because if he loses his caster, I mean, no Winds of Magic is obviously always a weakness, but particularly when your opponent still has theirs. And it looks like the battle is slightly starting to turn, maybe. But Saurus Spears now, full health, are going to start marching into the back line. And a big problem here for the Wood Elves could be running out of ammunition and then having 2 giant Bastiladons to deal with in the later stages of the game. Flock of Doom comes down, catching a fair few units. Eternal Guard run into a skink wall here, but there's plenty of Saurus still left, and they can absorb a lot of damage. In the back here, somehow the Skink Priest has survived for a considerably long time. Glade Lady, though, does seem to be finally getting her antlers in action and looking to finish him off. And down he goes. Actually gets killed there. That is a big loss for the Lizardmen forces. The Glade Guard's lack of ammunition is their biggest problem right now, because they could easily handle this build if they were like full ammo. But of course, they are not. They've been using up considerable amounts throughout the game. Little Skink Priest actually did survive, so he's just going to be running and shattering. Good boy, man, making it away. He's like, stay here, guys. I'll run and get help. Don't worry, I'll be right behind you. Glade Guard are running very low right now, but Saurus Spears have been dispatched. Dryads, along with these Eternal Guard, could really finish off that second unit. The 2 Bastiladons are going to be the big problem. There's still a healthy unit of Saurus as well, 72 models, but that's about it that's standing in the way of this Wood Elf build. Is going to be the Saurus as well as these Bastiladons. No magic left is a big loss. We still have Earthbloods as well as Pendulums to come from the Branch Wraith. He needs a well-placed Pendulum on the Saurus Spears. He needs to be very careful now as to how he uses up this ammunition. At the moment, it's just finishing off Saurus Warriors. He doesn't need to do this. Just, oh my god, there's a unit coming back as well with still 9 rounds. That's really nice. Glade Riders do charge into the Skink cohorts, and now he's focusing down at the second to last unit of Saurus Spears, or the other unit is pretty beat up at this point. Some Eternal Guard are pushing in, just bunching up these troops where possible. I think we're going to see a Pendulum come down here perhaps, and maybe that's where he was baiting out with the Eternal Guard coming in here. And the Bastiladons are now out of ammunition, and they need to be focused down. They need to be the priority target, I think. Little Skink Chief does take massive damage here, but the Glade Guard are all very low right now in ammo. And it looks like the Saurus are going down. They've been charged in. They're rampaging right now. We do get a brave enough Raymer. go down on one of the solar engines, and this is the hour. Do the Wood Elves have enough ammunition, or do they not? You can see this Bastiladon is getting absolutely nuked at the moment. Massive damage coming in. I would even probably commit the Glade Lady to the fight, but the Oxyotl is nearby, and that can be scary. And the solar engine is getting rinsed right now. If there's any Glade Riders around, they need to finish this guy off and chase him down. We have some in the distance. Saurus Spears have returned, and they're hunting down the Glade Guard who have ammunition. That is a really good clutch play there by Ice Power coming in. The Glade Lady is moving in for the kill, but she's got to be scared. Oxyotl has scaling damage and can really slaughter her, but she goes in for the kill nonetheless, and I think he has to risk this right now. Balance of power is still in favour, though, of the Lizardmen forces. The Glade Lady, oh, this is such a risky play. With the Skink Chief here supporting, I think she needs to get out of here and just survive. Just survive for now. Glade Guard, though, are out of ammunition at the perfect time for the Lizardmen forces. This is really bad news here for the Wood Elves. We are going to see an Earthblood come down, and the hunt is on for the Skink Chief, trying to force this Bastiladon off as well. Is there any ammo left? There is 3 rounds from this unit of Glade Guard. Branchwraith trying his little heart out here, but the lack of ammunition is a big problem. Skink Chief is routing. The Bastiladon is routing as well. Oxyotl, though, still has 16 shots. He's up to 36 kills as well, and he is going to be able to finish off the Glade Lady, I believe. The sways of Glade Guard will really struggle here quite badly. There's some ammo left, and it is going into the rear of that Bastiladon, which is probably a good target. Glade Lady needs to be... Oh, it's such a tough decision. She needs to chase off these units, but look at Oxyotl. He is going to be able to finish her off here, and that is probably going to turn this too far gone for the Wood Elf forces. Yeah, down to just 70 HP. Glade Lady's gone. She's terrified, in fact. I do think that needs to be changed as well. I don't know if I've messaged CA about it, but units which are routing definitely shouldn't cause terror. Down the Glade Lady goes. She is finished off. That is going to push balance power more and more in favour here of the Dino Boys. Branchwraith is alive, however. She can get some rather tasty Earthbloods down. This has been such a fantastic game. This has been such a close game, but I don't know. I don't think the Wood Elves have enough. They're just going to tear out. With the loss of their leader, the Branchwraith's going to be the focus of attention for Oxyotl, as well as the Bastiladon and the Skink Chief. And the Glade Guard don't have good melee attack and melee stats to deal with the Bastiladon. It's just going to tear out them, I think. Yeah, this has been a pretty crazy game. Yeah, Wood Elf Archers are no joke, 100%. 100%. Oxyotl is such a stealthy Lord Duck. Still hasn't narrated him for over 6 minutes. He's just been vibing, doing his thing. Just chilling. Branchwraith is very danger low. Needs to use that Winds of Magic before she does go down. Honestly, popping an Earthblood on herself wouldn't be the worst idea. We have some ammo still coming in, aiming after the solar engine. Down to 3,000 HP, but that's certainly no small amount. And the Branchwraith goes, the Terror's going to start to kick in, and I really don't think there's any hope for the Wood Elves here. Oxyotl has been a beast. Up to nearly 2,000 damage value, doing really good work so far from him. We do have some nice Glade Rider play coming in, trying to surround the sneaky Skink himself, which certainly isn't a bad idea. Actually trying to crush the Skink cohorts in the back. Really nice play by Saphir, who certainly hasn't given up just yet. Now he can try to surround the enemy leadership. He also has Glade Riders who were trying to force their way back onto the Skink Chief. Instead, came into the rear attack these Saurus Spears to try to break their morale. But you can see the Terror is really starting to come into effect, and we could well get a chain route here. Bastiladon doesn't have the best melee attack all round, but with its charge bonus, it really can rip and tear its way through the remaining Wood Elves. What an insane game to start this best of 5 final. Both players playing out of their skin. I thought the Lizardmen did really good in the early game, and in the mid game, the Wood Elves just came into a league of their own. But alas, it was not enough. The ammo did dwindle, and they shall fall back to their trees. Maybe, just maybe, leaving Bastiladon for the end and break it. Maybe that's a chance. I actually really liked Saphir's tactic of nuking the Saurus Warriors first, because the Bastiladons would simply fall back, but it has backfired a little bit in the fact that we still have the Arcs of Sotex, the solar engines running around late game. But you know, it was a really good effort, and I think he put up a fantastic display. That could have gone either way. If the Glade Lady had managed to assassinate Oxyotl when she had a chance, then all of a sudden the game switches massively to the Wood Elf favour. But well played to these two champs. Ice Power is going to take the first game in this best of 5. 2,139 damage value on Oxyotl, almost using up all of his ammunition, which is very scary. The Skink Priest did kind of get overextended and pounced upon by Saphir, so not the best damage value on him, but 540 on the Skink Chief was really nice pain for himself. Again, hunting down that Glade Lady, and she can be a little bit squishy. Saurus across the board actually struggled a little bit, simply due to the fact they got obliterated by bowfire. The Skinks fared much better with their javelins, getting some really nice work in. And as for the Basildons, 1,500 and 1,000 damage value, 114 and 84 kills respectively. As for Saphir, 1,665 damage value on the Glade Lady is certainly no joke, considering she's mainly a support character with those nets and so forth. Branch Wraith representing the 606, coming in with some nice Earthbloods as well. Eternal Guards and Dryades across the board didn't fare amazingly, but again, they're here to hold the line and allow the Glade Guard to dish out the damage. 468 damage value, 551, 690, 777, 812, it just keeps going up and up. 789, 551, 837 across the board. Quite nice and spread out there, dishing out the pain. Next map is Eshin. Man, I hate Oxy. Oxy is actually, honestly, I think not that terrible. He's very powerful and very good, but I don't think he's like obnoxious or anything. Surprised how much the balance power held? Oh, is it Suave? I didn't change the balance names. Yeah, we're actually going to be having a new overlay soon. Which is I'm really excited for. It looks very cool, so I won't have to be able to make these mistakes, because I think I'll be seeing it on the screen as well. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll leave Ice Power there with the 1. Boop. Come down here to a 1-0 so far, and we will change Suave. He shall transform to Saphir. Sorry about that, guys. There was a little bit, we weren't sure if Saphir was going to play in the finals. Obviously, he's not feeling super well. So I was kind of dealing with that rather than focusing on changing the scores and stuff. Yeah, I feel like VP and Skaven would be a really weird matchup. Yeah, Oxyotl can do a load of damage, but at the same time there, he used up over 40-something ammunition. So if he does survive the whole game, of course, yeah, he's going to pay for himself. But likewise, if you can catch him, you can really pound him into the dirt. Like light cavalry can run him over in melee and stuff. Yeah, if she had lived, she could have hunted down everything. But I understand the need to go off after Oxyotl and the Skink Chiefs. Yeah, it's been pretty awesome so far. What you guys been thinking? If you have been enjoying the stream, by the way, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. If you want to support the channel in any other way, you can become members on the channel. Got loads of links down below to Patreons, Discords, all that kind of good standard stuff. If you join my Discord, you can get in playing events like this. This was actually kind of organised on my Discord. And you can also have a load of cool people. There's both Saphir and Ice Power are indeed in there. And a lot of experienced players to, teach the newer players of you out there. And a load of other newer players if you're looking for someone on an equal level to compete against. So Saphir says, I had a feeling you would mirror me. Oh no. So Saphir and Bretonia banned Dwarves and Bretonia. So it looks like best faction versus best faction. Dark Elves into Bretonia. Dark Elves into Bretonia. Yeah, for sure. Oxyotl can be a big pain in the butt with that scaling damage. You saw how much he nuked down the Glade Lady in the late game. He's not the type of guy to carry like a big melee fight. He's not like a big monster where he'll tear out stuff. But luckily he had the Basildon nearby to help support him. I think he is one of the most competitive Lords for Lizardmen. Probably just behind Mazdamundi and Slans. In some matchups he may be better as well. But that's the glory of having a versatile roster. And the Lizardmen certainly have that indeed. So, as a surprise to absolutely no one, we do have Marathi up in the sky and Double Pharaoh Manticore, aka the Ice Power Classic, coming in with Soul Sealer as well, and we have a Scourge Runner Chariot. It seems like he's kind of gone down to one Scourge Runner Chariot recently. He used to bring 3, but again, Scourge Runner Chariot can do pretty solid work. For the infantry, we have Dread Spears and Bleak Swords dotted all the way along in a rather defensive formation, looking to protect some Dark Shards, of which we do have 2 units in fact. We do have some Knights as well. Cold One Knights looking to go toe-to-toe with the enemy cavalry. 3 Cold One Knights, one was hiding behind a tower there. I like the build quite a bit. Going to be taking the high ground. As for Saphir's forces, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of cavalry. I believe 2 of them are Knights of the Realm. Oh, yeah, 2 Knights of the Realm, 2 Questing Knights, and they're going to be rolling 1 of each. So 1 of each on each flank. We do indeed have a Field Trebuchet in the back and a load of Peasant Bowmen with Pox arrows. 1, 2, 3, 4 here in the back. Loads of peasants in the front line. Very unhappy to be here. They're cheap, they're sad, but they have been dragged into combat here by the Fey Enchantress. And to be honest, if the Fey Enchantress comes knocking, you're probably going to go to battle for her. Men-at-Arms make up the secondary line. We do have an air corps here, so we have Pegasus Knights rolling with 2 Paladins in the sky and Fey Enchantress on the ground with Awakening Woods. And what? No healing with Fey Enchantress? What is this? We have Awakening Woods and Dwellers Below. Arcane Conduit in favour of the Fey. No healing coming in from the Fey. Thought this matchup would be a nice show. Well, thank you for Saphir. Saphir's always a good showman. So no healing for these Paladins, and Pegasus Knights seems like an odd choice. And Earthblood would be so good there. They'd be able to outduel the Manticores and Maraf in the air that way. But like this, I don't know if they've got the stomach for the fight. I don't know. The Field Trebuchet is going to start unleashing some shots in. And what's it going for? Probably the Dark Shards, I'd assume. Bam. Oh my god. Lovely connection there. Killing 7 models and getting these guys down to half leadership already, but of course that will stabilise. Peasant mobs are going to be pushing forward, looking just to push away the Scourge Runner Chariots. Now the air game could well come down to, does the Scourge Runner Chariots have a big impact, or do the Peasant Bowmen have a big impact? I'm very surprised at the lack of healing though from the Fey. That's really kind of blown my mind a little bit. The Marathi Blob, as well as Feral Manticores, will be going after them. And of course, they do have Soul Sealer as well, which could be a bit scary. But maybe some hit-and-run tactics could come into play. Men-at-Arms are starting to line up into rank, forming some stalwart shield walls, and in come the Bleak Swords. Dark Shards having some damage on the left-hand flank. Questing Knights are looking to overwhelm the Cold One Knights, perhaps. Wouldn't be the worst idea, but if the Manticores are nearby, it could be scary. And it looks like at the moment they're just kind of bouncing to and fro. The Pegasus Knights are currently being under pressure a little bit from the air core, or from the range core of the Dark Elves. We do have our first fight. The Cold One Knights get a downhill charge onto the Questing Knights and actually being far more successful here. Some bowfire coming in though, and all of a sudden the Cold One Knights are starting to lose pretty heavily, but there is a second unit coming in to help and support here. Peasants are actually going to force their way in. I don't think the Questing Knights want to stay in here for too long, but it's a trap! It's a trap! Dwellers Below is coming in. Ice Power does spot this and tries to fall back, but it is going to catch 1 unit of Cold One Knights, as well as some of the Dread Spears, and in comes Marathi, as well as the Feral Manticores, with a Soul Sealer on top of this. Paladins are looking to want to take this fight, but coming into the Soul Sealer is pretty nasty. Pegasus Knights will charge in, and we're going to have a big old fat fight, but it is in favour of the Dark Elves because of that nasty Soul Sealer. Cold Knights have been dispatched by Knights of the Realm, however. Fey Enchantress is struggling to go over into this main fight, and it looks like Marathi is getting sniped hard, but the Questing Knights have been dealt with. In the main battle line, the Scourge Runner Chariots have been used rather aggressively to rout the front line. And you can see Bleak Swords are pushing through these men-at-arms and starting to hunt down the Peasant Bowmen. Where are the Knights to protect us? Well, they're busy. Out here on the left-hand side, dishing out the hurt and damage. Feral Manticore's going down. Likewise is Marathi. She is very danger low at the moment, but she has Manticore support and Scourge Runners. Fey Enchantress isn't able to heal up her Questing Knights here, or the Paladins, and one Paladin is nearly done for. Marathi gets in the sky, and now she can Soul Sealer her way back to full health. Men-at-Arms doing a good job on the Dread Spears. You can see the Peasant Bowmen are going to start falling back, trying to reposition themselves. Fantastic micro by Saphir, as you would expect, lancing down these Dark Shards with his Knights of the Realm in the back line there. It looks like we are going to be getting a second, well as that below, coming down on the Scourge Runner Chariots, breaking them. The Feral Manticores as well are really struggling. Fey Enchantress is in here. Knights of the Realm doing a good job. And up in the sky, the Paladin is trying to take on Mama Marathi one-on-one. I think he's going to learn his mistake here, really risking it and going for it all, which I don't hate at all. But she is currently rather healthy. The second Paladin has just arrived, but the fact that they took her on one after the other is much worse for themselves. If this was both at the same time, Marathi could well be gone at this point. But the Balance Power is very healthy at the moment in the favour of Bretonia, as the Dark Shards have been forced off by the Knights of the Realm, and there's a lot of cavalry left alive. Marathi, plenty of healing potential left. Knights of the Realm do run through those Dark Shards. Paladins now going after the Manticores, which are a bit more of a squishy target. I love this idea of escorting them off the battlefield to stop Marathi from kind of going around with this Goon Squad. Looks like they are going to 2v1 this Manticore and try and escort the other ones off the battlefield. Peasant Archers are now safe. The Knights came back and protected them, as did the men-at-arms, and the Bleak Swords do seem to be going down. Balance power getting very close to army losses, despite the fact Marath is alive, and yet again we are going to get a Soul Seal, and this is the gambit to get them back into the game. It's going to catch Fae Enchantress, it catches the Knights of the Realm, it catches this last Paladin. Marath is getting healed up, but Fae comes in, slapping her in the face, looking to drag her down. And a big shot comes in though. Fae Enchantress is very low. This could be a deciding moment of the battle. If Marathi breaks here, it's game over. But the Fae Enchantress is now surrounded and alone. There are no friends nearby. Looks like she is going to come in with an Awakening Woods. Any damage is good damage right now to try to finish off Marathi, who's going toe-to-toe with the Fae Enchantress. What a scrap we have on our hands. The peasants have arrived though to protect Z-Lady. Coming in with some shots in the rear. Marathi breaks, but the Fae Enchantress may be soon behind her as well, as the Dread Spears are now getting in and surrounding her, and that Ferromanticore is pretty scary. Field Trebuchet is alive and health in the back. Ice has unfortunately fought 2 pretty much full health units, or 3-quarter health units, of Bleak Swords in the back, and that is a huge problem. They could be used right now to finish off the Field Trebuchets and apply pressure to these Peasant Bowmen. The Fae's running for her life though. She is running for her life, and the Knights of the Realm are going to desperately try to come back and protect her, but I don't know if she is going to return. There's still a lot of bowfire left, and if they can get the Ferromanticore off the field, I think Bretonnia are in a really good situation. The problem is the terror, particularly if they lose their Lord, is going to be a big problem for the forces of Bretonnia. Knights of the Realm do manage to rout these Dread Spears and force them off. Second unit is going to get focus fire down, and there's so much ammunition left on the battlefield for the peasants right now. Fae is about to go. The Bleak Swords have finally been remembered. Field Trebuchet, though, is still alive and active, up to 68 kills. Probably wants to start targeting these Bleak Swords on the right. The men-at-arms can kind of hold the line here, though. The Knights of the Realm just chase off these units, and yeah, it looks like it's game over. Ice is going to be bowing out there and losing with the Dark Elves, which is very rare for him to do that on the channel, but likewise, it's very rare Saphir ever loses with Bretonnia. Marathi does get 2,681 damage value, though, with those nasty Soul Sealers and 75 kills. Bleak Swords across the board, getting some pretty big kills, but not much damage value. Yeah, nothing too crazy there. Dark Shards as well, kind of struggling due to the good cavalry play by Saphir himself. The Cold Knights across the board, 563, 829, and 591 damage value is good work by them. And Ferromanticore's 500 damage value, not crazy good, but 1,200 on the second one. Saphir the Mad Lad, bringing Fae with no healing. What do I know? You don't need healing. Healing's for the weak. You come in with those awesome Dwellers Below tactics. 2,437 damage value, over 12k damage dealt, and 106 kills. The Paladins performed amazing, 1.6 and 1k damage value respectively. Of course, the Peasants and the Men-at-Arms just kind of die, but that's their job. Peasant Archers, not the best damage value, but they were all very healthy in the late game. The Cavalry, man, 900 damage value, 1,000 with 100 kills, 928 with the Pegasuses. Quest Knights are faring a bit worse, 586 with the Field Trebuchet. GG, man. GG. Apparently I'm blind, says Ice Power. Next time I won't miss the 2 sneaky cav units on the flank. Yeah, they popped in. I think Dwellers got more value anyway. Yeah. Spam Dwellers. I forgot Earthblood. Oh, he forgot it, so it wasn't deliberate, but GG. Man, awesome game. Up next, we shall be on Toothgrass Hill. Nope. Let's go down to it, and boop. So we well and truly have the finals underway now. 1-1 between these two champs. Let's quickly upgrade the score there. So the Mighty Saphir strikes back with his favourite Bretonnia, taking down Ice Power's Dark Elves. We do not see this on the channel, guys. Ice Power does not lose with Dark Elves. This is heresy. Something weird's happening going on. Manscore got wrecked. Oh, for sure, Lucas, for sure. That was a fun one. That was very close. GG's. Yeah, the Chad no healing, man. Major props, says Cosmo. The Dwellers play was so cool. The first one, the Dark Elves managed to dodge a lot of it, but the second one was really lovely. GG's across the board, I agree. Apologies for the burp in there, guys. Knives Out Lad says, Cat Morgan, the king of all ducks, has arrived. We bow before your majestic duckness. How are you doing today, champion? Hope you're all good in the hood. Looking to play some games against Cat Morgan relatively soon as well. Oh no, they're simping over their respective lords. Never, buddy, never. To each their own, lady to simp. Battle of the Simps, I love it. Cool, cool. Great Bretonnia play for sure. Yeah, there's not many better in the game than Saphir when it comes to the Bretonnia. Yeah, the Quest Knights getting the charge on the Cold Ones was good. Yeah, the early engagement on that left-hand flank was risky, but it really did pay off for the Bretonians. Forcing the Dark Elves to disengage as well with the Dwellers was quite nice. And that put them in good stead, because then the Dark Elves had to really commit all their forces to that flank. And yes, they started breaking down the front line, but a lot of those troops returned. And then the Bretonians managed to shut down the Dark Shards with a right-hand swing around, and then come back and protect the peasants. And then, you know, at the end of the day, the peasants were alive at the end. What's up, Kadane? Yeah, we're into the finals, man. Best of 5 finals. It's pretty damn exciting stuff as well. We have Ice Power versus Saphir, 2 very good tournament players. Ice Power won the first game, Saphir strucketh backeth though. Alright, do your worst. What's your first pick? Man, Saphir's he's ready to rumble. He's going for OP Goats, he says. So he's going for Beastmen. Though we have seen Beastmen lose twice so far, and only win once. The finals, yes, this is the finals of this qualifier. So the winner does go through to the grand finals. We still have the grand finals of last season to come, but it's been a bit of a trouble to organise so far, so I'm not 100% sure when that is going to happen. We were going to do it the other day, but Krablin went on holiday, which is sad. But it will be good fun. That is from Chosen One, Ice Power, Void, and Krablin. Chosen One I don't think is going to be able to play in it. It depends if the hotfix comes in time, and then maybe he will be able to. Let's have a little sip of my drink. That's the good stuff. That is the good stuff. What do I ban? When you go Beastmen, you got to ban Beastmen, man. Right, I'm going to turn my light on, so I'm going to be back in about 4.5 seconds. I'm back, baby. You guys miss me? Remember, guys, if you are enjoying, feel free to leave a little like. I really need to get a bot to do that for me. I know Streamlabs can do that kind of stuff for you, because I hate like going, oh yeah, can you like and subscribe? But it generally does help out quite a bit, like way more than people know. It helps push out your channel to more people, and we can eventually grow more and more the glorious Total War community. Is Marathi better than Malekith in multiplayer? Yes. Marathi is the best Dark Elf Lord in pretty much every matchup. I would say there's precedent to bring Malekith against Lizardmen, but Marathi's still very good there. And even with Malekith, you probably won't be seeing him as Dragon. Saphir! I may be in love with you. First Dino action, then Viking. Oh, Saphir, bring in my favourite Lizardmen in the last round. Did he bring them round 1 of this one as well? I can't remember. Perhaps. No, he brought Wood Elves, didn't he? He brought dinosaurs in the first game. Brought Lizardmen in the first stream, and then brought Norska in this one. Still love you as well. But you know what you need to do. Man, we're gonna see Norska in tournaments, guys! We're seeing Norska! I'm so excited! I'm so excited! I have no idea how this is gonna work against Beastmen. Hello, this is my second stream. What's up, man? How are you doing? What did you miss? You've missed 2 semi-finals so far. So today was a tournament stream. And we're on to the finals, which is best of 5. It's currently 1-1 between Ice Power and Saphir. And yeah, they're going toe-to-toe. Been really good games so far. Saphir, unfortunately, is currently very, very ill. It's been an absolute champ by still playing here. So we're just taking a 5-minute breather, so you can grab a drink, grab some fresh air and so forth, and come back. But yeah, guys, keep giving both these guys your energy, as well as, of course, Severe, for not feeling too good. And, like, playing when you're not feeling good, man, it's honestly really hard. Surf Ek, let's go. I can't wait for Surf Ek to become a lord in the game. Frog would be pretty neat here, actually. Yeah, I could see good work by Frog coming in. Sophia, I love you both. I love you both. Yeah, Sophia winning the heart of the people, man. Dinos and then Vikings. This is wild. What's up now, man? So I was about to say Joanne. I'm going to say Joanne. That's what I'm going for. If I mispronounced your name, I apologise. What's up, Rubber Duck War? He says, great to catch a tournament live. Really happy to have you here, man. Very happy to have you here. Tariff would like to see this one. I actually have seen some of Tariff's content. He does some really funny meme stuff. And particularly about Beastmen and Norska and so forth. Blood for a blood god. Yes. I want all the carnage. Beastmen going to crush Norska. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I don't know if Saphir's got a trick or two up his sleeve. Ready to fight. Yes, let's do this. Bam. Let's bounce. This is a love and war stream. It is. There's lots of death and carnage, but at the same time, everyone loves the carnage and death. So it's good to see. Oh, I thought ice was ready. Zatzibul. What? Zatzibul? I'm just gonna say yes, Saphir. There's a really funny clip out there, which you'll have to see on the live stream. There was a clan war between ODM and who were they up against? RTK, I want to say. Was it RTK? Oof. I'm not sure who it was, but I was casting a faction war between ODM and another faction, and Saphir was in a live chat talking about my commentary, and we like clipped it and showed it live on stream, and it was hilarious. It was hilarious. It was so good. What a chieftain on foot. That would be ballsy. Finally caught a stream. We've had a load of people turn up in the last like 5-10 minutes. Like, oh hey, I finally caught a stream. So I'm glad you guys managed to catch it. Rubber ducks for the duck throne. I agree. We need more ducks. Ducks all day, every day. I'm planning at some point on doing a really long like day stream at some point, like 6 hours or something. I will have to prepare for it. Just so like people who work during the day can still see me, and people who work during the night can also still get to see some action as well, you know. We have over 100 people watching. Hope you guys are enjoying. I love to see your guys' support. Honestly, you guys supporting me is the reason I've been doing YouTube as long as I have, because it's just, yeah, it gives you so much motivation when you see people enjoying your stuff to keep going. But anyway, let's have a look at Ice Power. You have Ungor Raiders dotted all the way through the front line, backed up by double Tuskor Chariots. Once again, we have 2 Ferromanticores up in the sky. If it's not broke, I guess you don't have to fix it. We do have a Brayshound of Death, Spirit Leech, and Doom and Darkness down on the ground. Torx the Brass Bull is going to be coming in leading the army, and with some Chaos Warhounds with Poison, a largely Vanguard build though for the most part. We also have Centaurs here as well. Seems like he's a big fan of the Centaurs. We have 4 units once again, so very similar to a build we've already seen from Ice today. For the forces of Norska, they've gone very wide, in fact, outnumbering the Beastmen. This looks really cool. So we have a load of Marauders, very cheap across the board, a load of Berserkers in the secondary battle line. We then have Spearmen in the third line, backed up by a bucket ton of Marauder Hunter Javelins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units in fact. We have a Shaman Sorcerer of Transmutation and Plague of Rust. And then we have Wolfric the Wanderer. I thought it was a chieftain there, guys. I thought it was. His shield's really cool. It's I mean, it's horrifying. There's a dead guy skinned alive on it with his little head there, and he's in a not too good facial expression. But Wolf the Wanderer coming in with the Sword of Torgold, Hunter Champions, and the boat. This is like playing Norska as if they were Dowie. It's amazing. This is a super cool build. I'm going to steal this, Saphir, and try it out for sure. This is a best of 5. It is a best of 5, Cat Morgan, indeed. The Heathen Horde is here. This is the Great Army, the Great Heathen Army, which invaded England. This is it, and it's come to party. I'm a little worried about the Tuskor Chariots, though. Tuskor Chariots have very, very, very good mass, so the Javelins are going to be crucial to dragging them down. Oh, let's see. Is anything going to slow them? No, they just go straight through. They just go straight through. That's so nasty. Look at the damage. Yeah, the Tuskal Chariot's going to be a problem. We do have Wolfric the Wanderer, who can attempt to deal with them. But apart from that, the Norscan forces are marching now upon the hill, looking to bring wrath and ruin to the armies of the Beastmen. And it looks like, yeah, Marauders going to be flanking as well with the Berserkers. And the Ungors are certainly going to die very quickly. It's going to be all these single entities which shall be the problem. Tuskal Chariots take a tiny, minuscule amount of damage. And it looks like both of the Manticores as well as Taurox are coming in to try to assassinate Wolfric the Wanderer and pin him in place with the Tuskal Chariots. And a Spirit Leech going down. My god. Thrown everything at Wolfric, and yet the sneaky little devil has managed to escape for now, dragging the Manticores through the Javelins. It might not be the worst idea in the world whatsoever. Berserkers are struggling in the front line due to cavalry pressure. These Chariots as well just running over the enemy. Centaurs have forced their way into the back line with some good micromanagement to slip them through the gaps here. This is a pretty close affair, but the Beastmen certainly seem to have the big advantage in the opening stages. But Centaurs are starting to be dragged down. They got left in combat too long up against Berserkers. Tuskal Chariots are now running over Berserkers in the back line as well. Wolfric is here. We're going to be seeing something go down. What is this? Oh, it's a Final Transmutation. It does unfortunately not catch the Chariots. And now they're back in it, so it's catching the Chariots, which is really, really good news for the Norscans, because Final Transmutation on the Chariots is certainly one way to deal with them. We also have 100 champions going down on the Brazen of Death, and once again, Ice might lose his wizard really early on, and this could cause big problems, but he managed to escape due to some beautiful play, forcing in these Tuskal Chariots to help protect. The Norscan front line is actually kind of breaking, but in comes the secondary wave of troops. They're slamming in and doing some decent work. Manticores have been busy bees, though, jumping around, trying to break down the infantry. One Tuskal Chariot is routing, but they both have 3 models left, and it looks like Wolfric is now being hunted down once again by the double Manticore. Javelins are starting to add up, though, and do some good work, and the Manticore rampages, unfortunately, as well, into some basic Javelins. This is the time now for these two units to delete this Manticore. Good play by Ice, hunting down some of the Javelins, realising they are the main threat in this build. The Warhounds will be able to dispatch them rather comfortably. But now we have Marauders eventually winning that front line and hopping on top of the Ungor Raiders. And it looks like Taurox as well starting to get a little bit surrounded. 1 Manticore down, 1 to go. Still decent ammunition left as well on these Javelins. Tuskals have returned to the field, though. That is massive good news for the Beastmen forces. Berserkers will be able to devour these Ungor spears, and in the back, it looks like the Warhounds have been forced back here, but not before they dealt the damage and killed these hunters, or at least sent them packing. Warhounds need to stay moving here. Looks like the spearmen actually like, you know what, you're good doggos at the end of the day, you're some good lads. We don't want to hunt you down just yet. There's guaranteed there's going to be another Final Transmutation waiting in the tank for when these Chariots and Manticores do bunch up together, and the Hunters have moved into position to start throwing some of their Javelins. And it looks like they are going at Taurox the Brass Bull. They will do really good damage to him, and it looks like Chariots now roaming their way through a lot of the Norscan forces, but a bucket ton more are approaching. You think you've killed the Vikings, yet more Vikings arrive on your shores to dish out the damage. Wolfric is going in. He needs to be careful here, so it's kind of a little bait. He's going to fall back. He wanted to hunt down the Brave Shaman, I believe, and it looks like we are now going to get a Plague of Rust and 100 Champions on Taurox, and look at his health just start to disappear from the pressure there of the Javelins. We need to be careful, though. There is a Manticore around, and the Tuskal Chariots are reaving through the back lines, really distracting these Hunters, and with some cool rolling animations. Taurox doesn't care about the lack of speed, and he's actually now going to a really good position in the back lines. Lovely counterpunch so far by Ice Power, as he was a little bit on the back ropes there. A boat does come down the line on the Ungor Raiders. Berserkers are being kited right now, as are the Marauders. And Taurox is going to be able to escape. Plague Rust is still popped on him. The Vikings had to fall back a little bit, regroup, and realise that little strike wasn't going to work. This unit of poor Marauders is going to get jumped here by the Chariot Corps, as well as the Manticore. It looks like Javelin's still trying to dish out the damage. Plenty of ammunition left coming into the later stages of the game here for the Norscans. It looks like Ungor Raiders are going to be able to escape, at least for this time. Wolfric the Wanderer, the micromanagement of Saphir is insane. I honestly don't know how he's this good at keeping Wolfric alive. He should all right be dead long ago. There's been Spirit Leeches constantly cast on him, 2 Manticores and Taurox hunting him down, who have better speed than him, and he still managed to survive this long. But alas, it is time for Wolfric to say goodbye, and he is going to be falling back. And with that, I think the game has switched on the head to the favour of the Beastmen. There's not enough infantry left to pin in these Chariots, My god, Tuskor Chariots, their damage value is going to be pretty wild, I think, at the end of this game. Torx as well is still alive, and if Wolfric can't escape this Feral Manticore, which I don't think there's much chance, it's certainly going to be a rough one for the Norscans. But they still have the Shaman Sorcerer. Remember, we could have Final Transmutations, but we did see a Plague of Rust attempt, which unfortunately backfired and didn't work. Feral Manticore is getting dragged down here just by sheer wave of Spearmen, and the Tuskor Chariots are pulling back at the moment. Not before, though, they break a huge portion of the Norscan forces. Balance Power is still dead even, despite the fact Wolfric has basically been dispatched here. One Manticore is gone. The Javelins need to stay alive, but there is Tuskor Chariots to finish them off. And it's looking a little rough now for the Norscans, but the Shaman Sorcerer has returned. We have Marauders chasing down Ungors and some more Marauders turning back. It's certainly not game over, but now Wolfric is dead and the Feral Manticore can return to the field. That big negative to leadership is going to be pretty huge. Just for those of you guys who don't know, if you hover over leadership, it'll explain Lord recently died is a minus 16 leadership penalty, which is massive. So you can see a lot of the Norscan forces are just routing now, and hopefully they will come back. That penalty does start to work its way down, though, so it's not as bad as all that the longer the battle goes on, because your lads will think, you know what, the Lord's dead, but we're still here right now and kind of doing our best. Tuskor Chariots are running over Marauder Hunters at the moment. So my phone's been going off at the moment. I'll reply to that in just a message. Shaman Sorcerer really wants to try to save up probably a Final Transmutation, but this is good late game management here by Ice Power. There's a load of damage left on these Javelins. 3 units, in fact, of Javelins. Just being escorted away by the Feral Manticore and Torx the Brass Bull. The Norscans just don't have that much about them left. Ungor Raiders are currently hidden. Marauders can try to chase them off. And over in the distance, these Marauders may actually break before they get into combat. No, they finally got there. And we can watch some glorious Vikings decapitate, slaughter, hack, and slice their way through the Ungors. Nice little bit of shield bashing going in as well. And those Ungor Raiders don't want to hang around too long. In fact, they're completely shattered there. Balance Power is still dead even. Good luck, have fun. Just both the lads are saying good luck, have fun there. Marauders are trying to get in combat. If they can break these Ungor Raiders, that'd be good news for them. But their leadership is on 4 right now, taking volley after volley to the face. They've risen their shields, -1 leadership, 7 leadership. Oh no, it bumped up to 7, but they still broke because it was -1 for like half a second. Oh, that's unfortunate, because now they're going to be finished off quite badly. There's still a lot of Spearmen left who, in theory, are good against large threats, but they're not that elite. Torx Brass Bulls just hunting down Javelins right now, so is the Feral Manticore. And both these bad boys, I believe, cause terror. Does Torx? No, it only causes fear, but still, it's all negatives to leadership at the end of the day, and the Spearmen will suffer from that. A Final Transmutation coming down will hurt them, but it won't be enough to actually kill them, and that's going to be a big problem here. Ungor Raiders are being sliced and diced at the moment. Big moves in chat, it would seem. Run, Wolfric, run. This build is dope. Man, that Norscan build was insane. That was insane. I'm going to try that for sure. It might start at -20. Yeah, possibly. I think it was -18 maybe it starts at, and then we saw it -16, but maybe you're right, it might be -20, but it drops quite quickly away. Brass Body is really good. It's really good. I don't think it's too overpowered, because I believe you have to recharge it by being in combat. But yeah, it is really nice, that extra damage resistance. Shaman Sorcerer is hunting down these Ungor Raiders, both players just trying to get their value where possible. But with 2 Tuskor Chariots left, a Feral Manticore and Torx the Brass Bull, who will have his Brass Body back up and running, I don't see the Spearmen holding, and that's the problem. Maybe if all these guys sat still and fought for a while, then they could do it. But the Tuskors can simply cycle charge these Spearmen to death. They really can. Let's see, that's a lot of spears still. I mean, good news for the Norscans as well is they do have this really cool ability called Rage, and it is currently popped on them. So these guys at the moment, oh no, will recharge. Oh no, it's gone off. Okay. Did their leadership break at some point? Surely not. Surely not. I don't know what... It doesn't say they're at any stage of berserkness. So anyway, how's your day, Ducky? Just as they march towards each other. The Shaman Sorcerer is just finishing off the Ungor Raiders in the back here. Chasing them down, routing them, and the Beastmen as well. Chasing off the Marauders. There's no need now for the Norscans to attack and engage. They cannot catch the enemy. so they can simply vibe and sit still for now. These Marauders will be shattered, the Ungol Raiders will be driven off the battlefield, and then it's going to be time for the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny. Now, if Ice Power comes in for a big hit all in one go and gets hit with a final transmutation, those chariots will be gone, and then the single entities will have to stay and fight, surrounded by spearmen. So killing the chariots should be the top priority, in my opinion, of the Norscans right here. Man, the Norscan build was fun, man. It disappears if not. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. I thought it stayed on still. Chariots are actually wavering just on the approach. That will probably go up when they get into combat, though. It's a little bit scary for them, though, wavering like this. So they're going to be coming in after the Spearmen. The Spearmen are a little bit spread apart at the moment. They've got to be careful because the Shaman Sorcerer could just get sniped by the Feral Manticore, as well as Torx the Brass Bull. So he wants to kill these chariots as much as possible. In comes the Manticore, looking to swoop upon the Shaman Sorcerer. You can see their leadership instantly goes up. Oh my god, that was a massive, massive hit. And yeah, if the Shaman Sorcerer gets terrified, that's game, I think. That's really unfortunate, because it's going to start a chain tear out. Feral Manticore has started to rampage. I mean, come back, Shaman, you can still be of use. But now the units are isolated and alone. The Tuskor Chariots, though they have basically no HP, are still holding at the moment because Balance Power is in their favour. The troops rally. The Feral Manticore may start getting dragged down here. If there's a final transmutation, the time is going to be if the Tuskor Chariots swoop in as well, though it will be tempting to pop it as Torx the Brass Bull comes in. Maybe I was wrong. I mean, oh, we're getting the final transmutation now. I mean, if it's enough to kill the Feral Manticore, then that's really good. It was overcast as well. It had to catch the Tuskor Chariots, though, because these guys can now pull out of combat and cycle charge. If the Tuskor Chariots go down, they can't. Shaman needs to be very careful. Feral Manticore is getting surrounded and may well break here. Shaman Sorcerer looking to try to kill the Tuskor Chariots. Torx the Brass Bull is nearby, though, and if these guys turn and support, the Shaman Sorcerer could die, but down goes the Feral Manticore. They need to try to shatter it. Saphir, the mighty master of unbelievable builds, is trying his luck here. Shaman Sorcerer clatters into the Tuskor Chariots down to 240 HP, but they hold! They hold with only 240 HP! They start to waver. The Shaman needs to get out of here, but he knows he needs to shatter. No, the Shaman Sorcerer take massive damage, and the Tuskor Chariots unbelievably hold. Unbelievable stuff there. They do start to break now, and the Feral Manticore has rallied, which is a big problem. It looks like he is going to be going after this isolated unit of Marauder Spearmen, but yeah, losing the caster was massive. Was absolutely massive. Yeah, the caster needed to juke a bit more. I love the idea of going after the chariots, but he couldn't break them. If he had broken them on the charge, then I think the Norscans would be in a really good position right now. But these guys are buffed up, I believe, by Berserks. They do now have a bit of an increase. They've got extra leadership and physical resistance, but it will wear off after time. And I don't know if they're going to be able to catch Torx the Brass Bull here. They are trying. Manticore's very low. I mean, maybe there's chance. But the longer the game goes on, the more he can kind of buff up his abilities again. Marauders are trying to catch up right now. In theory, they should be able to, because the Marauder Spearman is going to be the pace that Torx goes. And they've caught him. They've caught him. Spearmen have surrounded. Lovely attack animation, though, is really going to clear out the chaff. Spearman needs to get in here with a surround where possible. Fight me, Bull! Screams the forces here of Norsca. Manticore is simply going to fly up and over into the Spearman. Oh no, it's going to become a very rare attack to try to break these guys. Terror could start becoming a big problem as well. Torx Brass Bull is very tanky, guys. He has 130 armor. 130, and the Spearmen don't have great AP. Feral Manticore is getting surrounded. Some big attack animations. So once again, it wavers. No, the Spearmen shatter. They weren't in combat, so they weren't getting buffed. Terror Route is going down. If the Spearmen hold, they probably win. They probably win. My god. My god. I don't know what to say about that game. That was amazing. That was amazing. Torx versus the world. The world better beware. Does attacking a fleeing unit count as attacking? It does indeed. Unless it's shattered. If it's routed, that's fine. Well done, though. This build is amazing. I'm going to try this out. But well played to Ice. He managed to just about overcome it. Sniping Wolfric when he did was absolutely clutch. 1,400 damage value on Torx. 800 damage value on the Shaman. The Ungors just died. The Raiders did basically nothing as well. No, sorry, guys. Got a bit of a upset tummy. I think I was burping quite a bit. Centaurs 400, 400, 480, 522. It was the chariots which basically soloed this. 1,562 damage value is disgusting. 1,200 here as well. 60 kills and 142. Yeah, they did the big heavy lifting. Manticores did okay. 400 damage value here, 991 on the other one. But those chariots, man, that's what decimated this build. As for Saphir, Wolf of the Wanderer, 850 damage value, 1.3k on the Shaman Sorcerer with some lovely final transmutations. I think placing it when he did was really good, but if the chariots had committed to that fight at the same time, the chariots would have been dead and it would have been a victory for the Norscan. So it's just those small things, but that was more down to good play by Ice Power, right? Pulling out the chariots and not letting them get hit by the final transmutation. Javelin's got some okay work, 450, 890, 881, 245 and 166. Everywhere else, the damage was just really well spread. If I didn't catch Wolfric, it was an easy Norscan win. Yeah, man. GG, well played. Madness game. Love the build. So up next, we will be going to Summer Song. Wolfric had to run for his entire life the whole game. Oh, for sure. For sure. Damn, used to work before. Beastmen got access to Manticores and Taurox. Yeah, that's a bit more of a problem now. It's a really cool build. Summer Song is the map. Just join your Discord. Awesome. Welcome, man. Welcome. Have the games been gone to... sorry, oh my god, you can tell it's getting towards the end of the stream because I'm really hungry and I start muddling all my words together. How have the games gone today? They've been really good down under Blunder. I love the name, by the way. Is that a chess name, by any chance? Because of the Blunder, or is it just because it rhymes? They've been really fun. They've been really fun. Saphir and Ice have had some amazing games against each other as well. So Ice Power is 2-1 up. This is a... So, if Ice Power wins a lot in this season's Grand Finals, but Saphir, you can't really count him out, and there's plenty of opportunity for him to have a comeback here. Chariot coming in with the little duck knife stabby stab. Love to see it. Yeah, damn chariots, man. This is Cat Morgan, like, yelling at some kids on the lawn. I love it. If that Overcast Final Transmutation would have instantly killed them, and then Taurox the Manticore had to stay in combat, and I think the Spearman would have done it. It literally was that close. That's how much the battle came down to. When is the next tournament that I can join? So tomorrow I am doing a live stream, but it's of a finals. The tournament's already happened. So next week, probably either Wednesday or Thursday, let everyone know in my Discord. So if there's another Death Before Dishonour, which is this kind of the competitive tournament series we host, I will let you know in the Death Before Dishonour tab. I can have tag it, see it. But we'll also do some fun tournaments in between, and we'll probably have one or at least one, maybe 2 tournaments next week. I'm very tempted as well a faction war, like a faction war series, because I've been live casting someone called Mad Doc. He did a faction war, we were faction war, and I think we can do some really fun formats. I know Torin does the competitive faction war, where it's kind of like super like tournament rules and stuff, and then they go to war against each other. But I am contemplating doing like a Khorne rules faction tournament, so you have to bring all aggressive, like having caps on magic and range units and that kind of stuff, or going for like a choke point faction war, or something just a little bit different that could be fun. Maybe a free-for-all faction war. Alright, gotta go. I'll rewatch the next match in a bit. No worries, Cat Morgan. Thank you for tuning in, as always. A true champ of the people. I will see you soon. Yes, there's a load of people from Poland. You've got Grombrindle, you've got a player called For Poland as well. Sons of the Mountain is a Dawi-focused clan, but also a Polish-focused clan. They do have members who aren't in Poland, but they are a Polish clan, so yeah. So yeah, Ogre Mercenaries, that's the kind of thing, like in a faction war, maybe I would include some Ogre Mercenaries and that kind of stuff. Probably put a limit on them to like 2 Ogre Mercenaries or 3 or something. So, we got Dino Boys. Love to see it. Scaly Boys it is, for a man of class and culture. Banning Skaven and VP. 2 good bans. Ice Power seems confident before, it would seem, with Tomb Kings. Oh crap, I wonder what 4-build chariots he'll bring. Yeah, the Ice does like his chariots in this matchup. If you're prepared for them though, they're not that as scary, but they still can be a little bit nasty. Yeah, it's been a really back and forth finals. Let's have a little sip of my drink. That's the good stuff. Oh, you joined Logic's Shortbeards tournament. Yeah, that's a really good tournament for newer players. I did ask him if I could play in it, but he said no. So if you contact someone, they're called Chad Forick, I believe, at the moment in my Discord. Just say, hey, what's up? He also goes by the name of Grom Brindle. He will. You can have a discussion with him. I don't know if there's any rules and stuff to join in their clan, but he is also Polish, and he can get talking to you and explain, you know, the rules and all that kind of good stuff. I just wanted to say, says Contrap, quack. I agree. Wicked D, the Evermod, the god of mods. Rumor has it, when a mod passes away, all their life flashes before their eyes, and then they just see Wicked D's symbol for all eternity. I don't know if everyone in Hello saw it, but the RTK Clan War League was delayed until late August. Yeah, I did see it, Wicked, so I didn't reply. I was busy over the last few days. But yes, it has been delayed a little while. Which means we might be able to get Clan Hello, which is kind of a almost a mercenary clan from a load of different clan people, and people aren't in clans have kind of formed a clan to fight in this clan war. We might be able to get them live on the channel in a clan war against someone. The Winter Wolf is here. So, Tomb Kings versus Lizardmen. Ice Power is probably going to go Triple U Shopty. Great bows, of course. Very good. The bane of Lizardmen existence. 4 chariots to run over skinks. Because one thing you do as Lizardmen to counter out Tomb Kings is you go really wide. Red Crested Skinks, Saurus trade very cost effectively. Then you bring 1 or 2 heavy hitters. Aircore can be quite nasty as well. But chariots obviously counter skinks. Can roll through cold ones to try to pin in the chariots or cold one. But yeah, it can be a little bit tough. It can be a little bit tough for sure. Yes, Larry Mad, we're in the finals. Very close though. The last game could have gone either way. There was like 1 or 2 clutch moments, which Ice just about managed to get, which they get victory in. Ice Power's playing out his skin right now against Saphir, and Saphir is playing amazing as well. I have a small hammer and also carry a big pen. I love it. Misha is more the powerful hammer wielder. It's true. It's true. Misha is a bit of a beast. I don't think Misha is actually a mod on my channel. I need to sort that out if she does appear again. She does from time to time. Did I update the scoreboard, guys? I did. Oh, admin on point today. Okay. I don't know. That was a message from Sophia a little while ago. How's that? Just gonna sort something out quickly. This is him. Cool. Yeah, Grombriddle may not get back to you straight away, Bud, by the way, because his electricity's down at the moment, so he's not on Discord, but he will be probably later today. He was meant to play in this tournament, but alas, could not. Tomb King Chats are fine, though. They don't have ridiculous damage. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm not saying they're OP. They're just very good against Lizardmen. Plus, I mean, he knows about that, right? Saphir's very aware of that type of play. Yeah, it's only Tuskor Chariots and Boar Chariots at the moment. And probably Razor Chariots. I haven't tested them. And the single entities on top of them. What's up, Victor? How are you, champion? Lovely to have you back here. Victor played pretty damn amazing the other day in a faction war. I see Void of Hellfen. Show some song. Okay. Both players are a Rumble. Yeah, Saphir's been around for a wait. Saphir is been around for a while long. I'm confused. Do you mean he's been around for like around the block a while, so he knows all these kind of styles and tactics people can bring against him? Oh, nice little stretch. And it is as predicted. We have a couple of Karen in the skies, which is a nice pick to try to counter Terran Riders. And then we have skeleton chariots, but only 2, so no 4 chariots. Shame on you, Ice. I demanded 4. But we have 2 skeleton chariots and 2 horsemen as well, guarding the flanks. For the infantry corps, it seems like we're going to be going with skeleton warriors mixed in with tomb guard dotted all the way along, which certainly can be rather tasty. Some tomb guard of halberds as well. We have the W Shopti, including one of which is the Chosen of the Gods, very good at killing those large dinosaurs. And we have Ark and the Black with the Spirit Leech and Doom and Darkness. Is that Doom and Darkness? Or is it Aspect of Dread Knight? Aspect of Dread Knight, there we go. Which is always useful. Spirit Leech is very powerful with Arcing because you can pop Staff from the Gash and you can basically just fire Spirit Leech and then fire it instantly again, which is really scary. So you can like double Spirit Leech stuff. For the forces of the Dino Boys, we are going to be seeing Saurus Warriors dotted all across the front line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double Kroxigor to back them up. We'll be very good at pinning those chariots and dragging them down. We then have Skink cohorts of Javelins for a secondary line. Load of Feral Cold Ones once again to deal with chariots. Looks like he's really prepared to try to take chariots on. And then we have Raised on Hunting Packs. Oh, Saphir. Saphir. For those who haven't seen it, I did a video on hunting packs today. Raised on hunting packs. I believe I spoke about the Maxim Barbs. But these little doggos, little neck scratch, little belly rub as well, are awesome. They do so much AP damage as well. Good at taking down those single entity targets. Not the best targets for them here today. They will most likely be the focus of attention for a lot of the Ushopti. We also have a Slar Mage Priest of Life Magic coming in. Earthblood, Regrowth, and Shield of Thorns will be the poisons of choice. Or I should say remedies of choice in this case. This is a cool box. Here's a Warhammer player for a long ago. Sorry, not native English. No worry. Honestly, don't worry about making mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. We've seen mistakes from like top tier players all the time. Yeah. You think there's bye-bye lizards? I don't know, man. The Shopti are going to have to kill both the Razordons plus both the Kroxigor. Realistically here. Because nothing else here in this entire build counters the Kroxigor. I mean, maybe Spirit Leech spam can do quite good work. But a lot of the infantry will just get overwhelmed, I believe. Pushing up, chariots are going to attempt to come in here. And it looks like they're both wise decision. And we're going to start seeing the initial left-hand side. And as well as a nice skeleton warrior right in place. And they do need to, where possible, I think, to avoid the Kroxigors and get onto the remainder of the left. Is now down to 10 models. It's going to be held up by... And yeah, that's that Staff from the Gash thing you can do. It reduces the cooldown by 30 seconds. So once Spirit Leech is off, it has a 30-second cooldown. Like Ice Pad's done some really good so far, despite the fact this build is designed to kill chariots pretty much. Raised Shopti are fighting into the rear of those Kroxigor to finish them off. And Skinks can certainly support and help out quite not line. Karen are hopping on top of Razordons, but there are Feral Cold Ones here to support, and they'll be able to rip and tear their way through the enemy with deft skill and accuracy. Feral Cold Ones are overwhelming the Skeleton Warriors in the front line, could honestly be then used to hop on top of Ark and the Black, or force their way back into the Chosen Gods and other such units. Razordons are being protected here with Skinks as well as Feral Cold Ones. Kroxigors have rallied and they still have 9 models, so getting a cheeky little regrowth down on them might not be the worst idea on the enemy now, but because there's no more Kroxigor to protect them, Kroxigors have been as well. Razordons are firing in on this left-hand side, looking to try to pin shots into the Skeleton Spearmen, as well as those who try to counter-charge, and the Clever Girls will be launching into combat, going to be doing some okay damage there. Carrying that, Chariots are trying to break the Saurus Spears, and honestly that's what the Chariots are good for. They won't necessarily get the most kills and damage value, but cycle charging them will break the leadership of your opponent, and then that enable it to hold a little while longer. With the Fat Banishment come down, it looks like they did some okay damage the wrong way. It's actually now perhaps going to catch these Skink cohorts. This wasn't part of the great plan! And then it actually disappears, and they sigh of relief and come in here to kill them all. The Kroxigor getting hit once for Leech, and Ushopti both are. Ushopti are just untouched at the moment. That's really bad. The Feral Cold Ones trying to protect the Razordon Hunting Packs where possible. In the Horsemen, who do seem to be going down, and the Razordons, who are trying their best to deal with these Chariots. And Chariots can be really rough for the Lizardmen to deal with. I think a Slant of Light actually would have been a better pick here, just to net these guys, because a lot of time people roll Chariots in pairs, overcast a net on them, and just kill them. Get over and done with early on, I think. Shopty Summon is starting to disappear, but not before they've butchered their way through a bucket ton of Saurus Warriors. And it looks like the Razor 100 packs are now gone, meaning these Tomb Guard are going to be a bit of a pain to deal with. But the Lizardmen still have a lot of forces dotted all the way around. Let's have a look what the guys are saying. Just good luck campaigning the Horsemen, but the Spearmen did indeed survive. Saurus Warriors pushing their way through Spearmen at the moment, and the Tomb Guard is really weird down there on these Saurus Warriors, not Saurus Warriors, maybe it was the Ushopti who were going. Fire coming in, though, from the Dino Boys. Skink cohort as burst damage onto these chariots. Worst idea to box these guys in place. Chosen the Gods are now out of ammunition. It's a big problem for them. Ushopti Great Bows have herself 8 rounds. Shield of the Old Ones does go down. And look at this. Kroxagor counter-charging the skeleton chariots, who are attempting to flee. Razordons and the Skink cohorts are unleashing shots into them as they go. And I think done for a lovely Earthblood's going down as well. And it looked like it was mentioned all the Saurus Warriors as well as the Kroxagor. Scary. And just as I say that, a banishment goes down. But unfortunately, the Feral Cold Ones do break. Is it going to follow them? That's the key thing. No, it goes in the wrong direction. So basically doing no damage. It's a little unfortunate there for the Dino Boys. And that's going to be a tough unit to break down. Ark of the Black's going to simply stay out of engagements at all times. Summon skeletons, spam Spirit Leeches. It is certainly the way to go here. But nonetheless, this is still a very close, scrappy affair. Ushopti are being forced to move into hand-to-hand combat. Kroxagor are looking to try to pin in the skeleton chariots. And a big fat Earthblood has gone down. There is some horsemen as well with aspect of the Dread Knight on them, causing that fear and terror, trying to break off these Razor on the hunting packs, who've been a bit of a pain in the butt, but Cold-Blooded has been popped on them. Slann has moved into hand-to-hand combat himself. If you want a job done, you want to kill some chariots, you do it yourself. And honestly, the Slann has some pretty decent melee stats. Doom and Darkness, though, has gone relatively danger low, and Armor Losses sets in. That Doom and Darkness was so clutch there, breaking the entire Lizardmen force. If he hadn't had that in place, the Saurus may well have been able to drag down the enemy. Oh no! Has the stream gone choppy? What happened? What happened? Stream went laggy? No, it's probably on YouTube's end, to be honest, because the game run actually... So, I can't do much about YouTube, I'm afraid. I know you guys are saying very choppy. I can't do anything. It's YouTube. Like, my internet's absolutely fine. Because, like, I was in the game and there was no lag whatsoever. But anyway, Ice Power shall be taking this Season 9 first qualifier. 1,200 damage on Ark and the Black. Those basically only from Spirit Leeches. The Spearmen, unfortunately, and the Tomb Guard didn't do too much. But they weren't needed to. The Chariots, 855 and 1,000 damage value. Good work by them. 760 damage value and 620 on the other Horsemen. Carrion didn't do too much. Again, they're a nice counter, though, to Pterodons if they come in. 1,662 damage value from Chosen Gods is really good. 910 on the basic unit. As for Saphir, the Slar Mage Priest of Life, 700 damage value. I actually really did like his build quite a bit. It was very unique. He's brought a lot of interesting builds. Kroxagor, though, being focused down early on, he was really preparing for 4 chariots, but he only got 2. Thanks for playing, lads. Awesome set of games. Well done on this week's victory. Sorry, guys. Sorry guys, I can't do anything about the stream, it's literally YouTube. So apologies if you didn't get to see that last one, really cool. Stream was all good for me, I might be on your end then guys, not sure. And now it's fine? Okay. Really fun series, man. Glenn, you played amazing, man. Well played as well. I hope you feel better soon, dude. Glenn is a Saphir, for those who don't know. It was awesome being here, GG's. Well, thank you for enjoying Muckluck. Glad you had a good time, but I do need your guys' help now, because before we end the stream, one, if you haven't already, I would love it if you did give it a big old fat thumbs up, as well as subscribing and all that glorious stuff, but we are going to go on a hunt, guys. Us little ducks got to stick together, and we're going to hunt down another YouTuber. So let's go see who's streaming, and we'll go raid their stream. So let's pop in, go to Total War Warhammer, and see who's currently live. I think Dame Offensive is. She did pop in earlier, so I'll send you guys over to the lovely Dame. She's currently doing something with Phoric Ironbrow. it would seem. So, boop, boop. The Duck Legions shall be sent. Feel free to go over and yell quack in this lovely lady's stream. She's a really nice person. And share the love. Share the love. So there you go. I'll be over there in a second as well to yell quack. And yeah, that's kind of how we raid. We just yell quack at people, and I love it. And of course, demand bread. It's a bit better now. It was just choppy. Man, that's weird. Let's have a look at my stream strength. Yeah, stream strength has been healthy the whole time, apparently. So yeah, sorry guys, it's on YouTube's end. I can't do much about it. Hopefully when you go back and watch it, it will be like super clear and crystal. So I apologize about that, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream nonetheless. And until next time, peace, peace. Actually, before I say that, we do have another stream tomorrow at 6:30 PM BST, so put it in your diaries. But until then, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.